Alright, can you all hear me?
Hell yeah. How's everyone doing?
Welcome to the void.
Oh god, I have like two. Which one do I turn off? I have two.
Just checking.
Oh my god, he's changed the chat to slow mode. I cannot keep up with this.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Hi,
Okay,
everybody.
everything's working. Alright, that's right. I have to consider latency.
I'm checking the audio from the stream. It sounds good, at least on my end. So,
Awesome.
heck yeah! I think we're good to go. But my god,
Speed.
the chat just went.
Chill.
Is there an option for slow mode, just so it's viable to do a Q&A?
No,
I mean,
you guys gotta.
we've got our written questions to go through.
Yes. Oh god, I don't have those open.
I got them
That's
open.
okay.
I'll be question wrangler.
Aw.
Maybe
Mage is going to be our moderator, essentially,
Yeah.
for the questions themselves.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Shall we have a run through? I assume everyone knows what Gator Boys is, but do you want to run through who everyone is and what the hell Project Reed Mace means?
Yeah. Wait, a quick introduction. Well, I think everybody knows who everybody is, but just in case, because there are some unfamiliar faces here. Just to go one by one, who everybody is. Hi, I'm Obsidian Lantern.
Hi, I'm Mage.
Hi, I'm M.
And I'm Day.
And this is the team that composed Gator Boys. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to let M explain, I guess, more or less the the little project Red Mace, because that's kind of new to everyone. But
Yeah, so-
It was news to me.
Yeah, we sort of absorbed Day back into the project. So Gator Boy started out with just me and Obi writing it. However, the idea was originally mine and Day's.
Yep.
And once we finally got Marco into the series and got her writing, Mage came on board to assist with that character, and four of us together have created Project Reed Mace. It's our official code name.
Project Reed Mace is essentially the name of the writing team. So M and Obi were the primary writers for the main Gator Boys series. Marco was always Day's character, and Marco has been, as far as I could tell, planned basically since the beginning.
Absolutely.
And I've been sort of invited on board to co-write with Day on Marco, but Marco is ultimately Day's. And together we form.
And all form the head.
I was honored that Mage wanted to play Marco from
I was
the beginning,
honored
from
to be
since he
asked.
finally knew who Marco was.
Mm.
Yeah, it was always the
I was-
idea to have you play Marco. It's just that shy Day, obviously. Exactly.
Hide in your cup.
But yeah. That's,
We have something like 90 questions already.
We got like 100 questions.
And some of them are repeats. We wanted to get one out of the way first of all, because the most commonly asked question was, what was the inspiration behind the Gator Boys series? Which was asked by a whole bunch of people. Is there anything you want to go over to get that one out of the way before we jump into the rest of the questions?
Sure.
Day, this is yours, I think.
And specifically because I think M, you started the idea, and then from there it just kind of like
Incorrect.
Day, well,
It was
Day,
me.
we were.
I found
It
the
was
song.
this-
I
Oh,
caught her
Brandon
into
in
a
the cup.
call, and I said, "What if we did Gator Boy Half Bloods?" And she
Yeah,
was
so-
like, "Let's go."
Y'all need to look up a song called "Alligator Sings."
Oh,
a
no
Song.
need. No need. I
Okay.
got you. I got you,
Put it-
children.
Day's gonna throw a link to it in chat.
sadly I
Go
can't
listen
wait
to this
any
song.
voice.
I'm throwing it at
This-
your ankles.
This is why Gator Boys exists, because she showed me this song, and we decided we needed Gator Half-Bloods that would walk around the swamp singing this song, going, yeah, yeah, I'm an alligator. It's such a dumb and hilarious
I
song,
love this
and
song.
I love it.
I lost it.
There was no other image in my head when I heard this song, and now it's just kind of their theme song.
It really is.
Besides Gator Boy, like Skater Boy.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, so Day and I had...
Shall I say that trivia, by the way? About skate. So at the start of the Marco audio, Marco was written in the script as being as humming something. So like I had a dumb idea. I went past M and Obi was like, what if he's actually humming Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne? And I haven't seen a single comment of someone noticing that. So there's an Easter egg that we got in.
The song is called Alligator Sings a Song, you guys. Sorry.
I put the link in. I know the chat's going really fast. I'm sorry.
You mentioned, by the way, Half-Bloods. Do you want to link in how it relates to Altera?
Does someone else want to take this question, or you want me to go for it again?
I can take over. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wait. So wait, the question, because I don't have all the questions out here. So this is the first question that we're going to be doing.
This question is by Mage. It's not on the list. This is me pitching a topic, basically saying, you mentioned Half-Bloods because Gator Boys isn't like a universe by itself. It's set in Altera by Siren.
Yeah. So the universe is obviously not ours. This is Siren Sun's universe. And during, towards like the beginning-ish, middle of like his YouTube career, creating a whole bunch of fan characters and stuff like that in OCs, like, and this is based in the actual world of Altera. I don't want to say it is like 100% canon, but it kind of is, because it was mentioned, at least the swamp of the name of the swamp was mentioned in one of the audios for Label, if I'm correct. He mentions it more or less when he was talking about the maps and the areas and location. He does mention Silverbend Swamp, so that kind of solidified more or less our existence, or at least the Gator Boys' existence to a degree. So we're there, but kind of just like Gator Boys is pretty much just any other Half-Blood, just kind of like living out and trying to survive in in this boy's world. But yeah, simple little OCs that kind of just turned into what they are. Honestly, we did not expect it to go this far. We kind of had an idea. We had like several chapters, but we didn't know like it would get here, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your comments, likes, subscriptions, and
people secretly crave the chaos of Florida. They just love the Gators.
It's true.
That's crazy.
They're into that.
So we have a stack of questions. Shall we start the list, and I'll try and grab questions from chat as we go.
Yeah.
For sure.
If anything, we should just tackle at least the ones that we have written down, and then go into chat for like any extras.
Sweet.
That's a lot.
And just as a disclaimer, you guys, if your question had a potential spoiler in it, or something that's going to be answered in the series later, we're probably not going to address it.
Yeah.
So don't be offended. It means you're going to get an answer.
Obvious reasons.
Yes.
So, our first question on the list, I noticed, by the way, I wrote down the names, but some of them appear to be the YouTube ID names, so some of them just turn into random numbers, so apologies if the wrong name is set. But first question is by Vicarian Shepherd. How strong is their night vision? And besides that, what is their greatest strength, like wit, memory, strength, etc.? So primarily, how strong is night vision for these characters?
I
would jump in with this, like with Half-Bloods. Do they generally Half-Bloods in Altera have differences with like night vision and various attributes like that?
No, yeah,
I don't think it's been answered explicitly. I would say the Gator Boys are probably slightly above average for a human.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like they have like most of like the benefits of the sight of alligators. They do have pretty good night vision, because they do hunt at night as well, so their night vision is pretty good. They will have like that same glare, so if you kind of like shine a flashlight, you're gonna see that like reflective yellow, like little pupils just kind of staring at you like in the in the dark forest. So they would have kind of like the same eyes, yeah.
Quick, I'm going to run through the questions because we have so many. But quick question from chat from Sparkle: who's your favorite Gator and Croc? Not yourself if you voice them.
I don't voice any of them.
Well, that's. And who's your
And
favorite?
dang, who's your favorite?
Go first.
I voted Tim.
I go Marco. I like Marco so far.
I'm partial to my boy Bodhi. I am so proud of that character.
Bodhi has come so far. Oh my god.
Was Bodhi
Right,
the first character that was designed?
He
Because
was
the
the
three
first.
of you came up
Well,
with each of the three characters.
Jay, did you have Marco designed before I finished Bodhi? I forget who got theirs done first.
Hmm?
Did you design Marco before I finished the design for Bodhi? I can't remember.
You finished Bodhi first. I had Marco, within the 2 weeks I had the song.
Yeah, so he was sketched first. Bodhi was finished. Marco was left to sketch for until
too long.
For until we released when we finally started working on Marco's story. That's when he was finally like finalized to a degree. And then Timmy came along later after Bodhi was drawn. That's when I got inspired and decided to do my own Gator Boy, and I did Timmy.
Yeah, a lot of our friends actually we announced the Gator Boys just as a concept to friends of server friends that we had, and a bunch of our friends also made Gator OCs. Timmy was the one that we latched onto for this series since Obi was the one going to be joining the project.
Because I like the idea of just like making something. So I decided to do a little clip of like what Timmy would kind of sound like in the swamp. Like it was I think like a minute or like a 2-minute little audio, which is the beginning of episode 2, and I sent that to Day and M. And then
it was glory.
I don't know what happened there.
He's so cute.
And then an entire series happened.
Yes.
Wait, how many chapters do we? It's like we have like
We-
9 so far. Well, 5 chapters, but
Yeah, we're up to episode 5. There is more planned.
But we have like
But that's
9
actually
videos.
I
Audio?
think we have
Something like
8
that.
plotted. We're probably going to be ending or adding at least a couple more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we need like
We have a bunch of questions from Royalty6111. And I've noticed a bunch of names just have 4 numbers at the end, so that says to me that it might not be the screen name, so apologies if I give the wrong names for anyone, but Royalty asks, we'll go with the first one, that was Inspiration. Out of all the episodes so far, which was each of the writers' favorites? I guess either to write or in general. What's your favorite episode?
My
I
favorite
quite
hasn't
liked-
happened yet.
I quite liked part 2 when Timmy appeared, and I'm kind of partial. I'm really proud of the Marco one. I had a lot going on at the time, so I wasn't able to edit the entire thing. But the majority of the edit was my own for the Marco audio, and I feel like that's probably the best thing I've edited so far in this niche. The Timmy and Bodhi sections at the start and end were edited by Obi.
I adore your sourcing for Raven sounds.
We got so many sounds from that same Raven. We got so much voice stuff for Maria.
I think mine was probably like the most recent upload, 5, at least that has been posted so far. Mainly because of like how many people were involved, and it did challenge me. Because I'm a sucker for a good challenge. But just incorporating so many people to like create this world, it just made it feel more real. Like it's not just like 2 voices or 3. It was 5 voice actors that were in that last one. It was just like a crazy like this. it was nuts. It was great, and I loved everybody's.
Collabs are very
everything,
impressive
yeah.
when they all come together.
That one and the last one before that, episode 4 was also one of my favorites.
The boys definitely have a strength when they're together. just to be able to show themselves and like show the history they have.
Mm.
Lots of fluidity.
I've seen the same question a bunch of times in chat, and a lot of people asked this before. So the most recent Araya, what are the ages of the boys? How old are they?
Hang on, we have a document.
Marco is 25, I believe.
Bodhi is 36.
And Timmy should be 18, 19.
Oh,
He's
that
a
is an interesting
baby.
question from Cat with a Gun. How long have they been together? And I wonder if it gets slightly spoilery territory for any of these. Like, can we answer that?
I wouldn't say it gets spoilery. Timmy joined the Boys at the Swamp when he was 10 years old, so he's been there for 8 years. Bodhi's been there his whole life. Marco showed up. It was a few years before Timmy, I believe.
I want to say 11.
Is it like 10, 12, maybe 15-ish? Ish, maybe?
It's been a while, yeah.
Because like he arrived when he was like a little kid too, right?
Mhm.
He was like 16 when he arrived. Hang on.
Adolescent.
The doc is loading. It's quite large.
You know what else is
We have
large?
like as many
Yeah.
pages as we
So-
get questions.
Bodhi's tail.
So Marco arrived at age 16 and he is 27, or no, Bodhi was 27 at the time. So he's been there for math. Why can't math? 9 years. Wait, no, that math doesn't check out.
Eating gumbo since 15.
As you can tell, none of us can math. We can write, but we can't math.
I did
Mhm.
math for the liberal arts.
I did not.
Wow. I forgot about that.
While you're checking, the third of the most frequently asked, which is also appearing in chat a lot, is how tall are they?
Bodhi is 6'3". I had to figure out for my D&D campaign.
Did we write that down as well? I swear we
I
did.
don't think we've written that down.
No, I know Timmy is of the small. I don't want to say
He's
like
a
half
small
his size, but like a good 2/3 of Bodhi's height. He's kind of like five something.
Probably like 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah, because he's kind of like
And
small.
Marco is somewhere in between, I believe.
Yes.
Was he short for a croc?
He
wait, Marco?
is the... Yeah, he's the only croc.
Yeah.
Yes, Marco.
What are
Marco was
those?
the runt of his family, yeah.
Yes. But because crocodilians are averagely larger, so he kind of comes up to Bodhi's tippy chest. I want to say around 5'10", 5'11".
And were you looking for something in the document? I didn't want to just let
But no,
you think of the
I
next question.
said what I needed to for the ages.
Okay, all right. Further questions from Royalty. Were the fancy folk Marco was around members of the 4 noble families of Montel? I guess this is Siren's law.
I can't say anything.
Fair enough. Yeah. There are some questions that will just be a bit spoilery. How often do you get tongue-tied while reading the script during the recording process? There was some Timmy bloopers in the blooper reel.
Yeah, that kind of sums up more or less the
It's much more difficult when there's an accent that you got to do as well.
Because it's not just the accent; it's just that it's how I gave his lines. He spoke like because after a while, when you want to tell a story or when you're in a conversation, you end up talking really fast. But with that type of accent where some of the words end up getting slurred, I end up getting tongue-tied, and I'm. Oh god, and then I realized how difficult the lines were on their own because I didn't have time to breathe. So there was also that.
I just want to add that the funniest thing is after Obi gets done recording, sometimes he gets stuck in the Timmy accent for a little while. The best thing ever.
I do. So if I get a call, like they know that I wasn't recording for Timmy.
Next question is, which Gator Boy is the easiest to write, and which one is the hardest?
Probably, in all honesty, the hardest one was probably Marco because Day
Probably.
was a little bit hesitant at first.
A bit
Do
of
we want to talk
history.
about the process for that audio, or do you want to skim over it?
I mean, we got
Nope.
time.
It's up to you, Day. Is that all right?
Mhm.
So Day had half of the script for Marco completed. I don't know how long ago, and basically needed someone to play the character, and Obi, and I put this together as like it turned out that I was one of the people that they wanted to play Marco. I was like, hell yeah, of course. So I'm sorry, you're good. Day's unfortunately sick today. But Anna Trooper just has still joined the Q&A anyway. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
But yeah, we secretly put together the Marco audio as a gift for Day's birthday. But we only had like partial documents, and we didn't want to spoil that we were making this. So we had half of the script. We finished the second half of the Marco script. I did my best to get the character as accurate as possible to what Day envisioned, but yeah, it was a surprise today to hit the fully finished thing, because it had basically been shelved at that point, which is why Marco had been mentioned a bunch in earlier episodes, but hadn't appeared yet. So I would say that Marco was probably difficult to write because it was a gift audio. We weren't sure if he was going to go live. Like we were saying, like if this isn't what you had in mind for Marco, we can rewrite it, we can re-record it, redo it, or if it's not something you want, we can scrap it, because like this is Day's character.
Yeah,
But,
these beautiful bitches decided to do something nice for me and
course.
bring Marco to life when I was too terrified to, reel in the voice actor for him.
But it's one thing to write a character that you've come up with. It's another thing entirely to write a character that someone else came up with without consulting what they have in mind other than the notes they've written down. Like, we wanted to get this character accurate to Day's vision,
Yeah, so
but we also wanted it to be a surprise.
That was, I guess,
And
like
it
the
was
main
perfect.
challenge. It's just like deciphering this, like the what little information we did have. Well, it was actually a good amount of information, but we still had like a good amount of deciphering to do.
It was a fun challenge.
I'm sure there were a lot of walls you had in the conversations because
I didn't
while
realize
you
that
know
Marco
things
was a
have
croc
happened.
until like 2 days before, like when we were deciding what the title was going to be. Like I originally I mocked up the thumbnail I was going to go with, and then M points out, isn't Marco a croc? I was like, is he? So thank you, M, for catching that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was tricky, but I think worth it. Will the listener be given any more bug nicknames? Because those were fun.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll just come naturally as they go. Like depending on the
You
situation.
can put any adjective in front of bug and people will swoon.
It would just work. Like it's
Yeah,
the
it is me.
perfect little nickname that like we thought was like so silly, but then just became so convenient.
It's really good.
It works so well.
And it's not even a title that's used a lot. So it doesn't get old for us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like most of the time when we refer to like the listener, we just say, "Oh, what about bug?" Sometimes we just refer to bug.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Listener is bug. That's just how it is.
Question from Frattenbow's Therapy Center. Yippee! Anyway, I'm curious. Bodhi said he found Timmy somewhere looking worse for wear, but Timmy nor Bodhi ever mentioned how he, quote, escaped and ended up at Sullivan Swamp. That's what I'm curious about. Eyes emoji. Edit Timmy in an Elsa's dress. Edits how tall is everyone, including hunters. So I think we answered how tall everyone is.
I don't know how tall the hunters are. But this was actually answered in episode 2, Timmy gives you his backstory and how he ended up at the swamp.
Yeah, it was as a quick reminder, I guess. Timmy was purchased, and he worked at a wheat farm, and things went terribly wrong. What's it called? Soldiers from Montel were sent over to the farm to correct things, and things kind of went out of hand. On his way to run away, he ended up getting branded. He just kept running. How he got there, when I first created his story, I forgot how far away the where he lived and where the swamp was. At least when we were creating the map and where they would be located, if this was all canon. And now I'm just like, how the hell did he get over there? So I'm still trying to come up with that concept of like, how did he get there? Because it's almost a mystery for him, at least for now.
Look, he's a scrappy little lad.
But when
Used
he
his
did
Gator
finally,
Boys.
when he did finally make it, he was a disaster. He was covered in cuts, covered in bruises. First stamp like right on his back, and he was. I did create a picture, and I think I posted it on Siren server of him kind of just like curled like under like some shrubbery one night, and Bodhi ended up just finding him there.
That's cute.
He found a little hobo and was like, "This is mine now."
Regarding the previous question, Kapu says the listeners' name should be emergency snack.
Probably no. Probably no. Probably no.
Maybe
Maybe
with
blood
you and
would make you.
consume.
Yeah, maybe in the AU. I missed one. Okay, sorry. So, question from Broken Pieces. What is your favorite character to play from your own series or otherwise? So, I guess this applies to all of us as VAs, including and outside of Gator Boys. What's your favorite character to play? So, sort of a general question.
I mean, in all honesty, I do really, really, really enjoy playing Timmy because he's so different to a lot of like the other characters that I have, and also I think he's the only one who has like an accent. So like again, like that challenge of like just playing Timmy. So every time like we finally finish a script, I get super excited. You know, I make sure nobody's like in the house so I can like do whatever I need to do. And my parents don't ask me why I'm speaking country-ish southern accent. But in all honesty, Timmy is one of my favorites to play.
It's my favorite to hear.
I had a AI character that was a lot of fun to play because it was a trying to have emotion in my head, but then not have it come through my voice because the character had a lot of essentially emotion. That was a really fun one too. I like playing artificial characters. Character was hell to edit though to make it sound like a computer, but I thought it was difficult to edit. But I'll cut it short. What do you reckon?
So I only have a few of my own audios out, and my favorite so far, I think, is Tethys, who is an orca woman, basically, and Day features as her sidekick. She's a bully, she's an asshole, she's got if you're familiar with Power Rangers, the characters Bulk and Skull, those were the vibes I was going for, and it was very fun and satisfying to play.
Check out M's channel in the description. That audio is fantastic. Day, what? I bet I can guess your least favorite, but we can skim over that.
I may have strong-armed Day into playing the dolphin.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Sure.
Not putting you on the spot, Day. Scooter asks, sounds good. I hope the Q&A goes well. How did Marco meet the feathery companion? That sounds like an interesting story.
What? The feathery companion.
Maria.
Her name is Maria.
I don't even think I know how this happened.
Is
She
this
was
something that
given-
we might come across later? Is it spoiled, or do you want to go into it?
That would be an interesting audio where it's like flashback to when he meets Maria, but I haven't anticipated one.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really a lot of fun.
But no, a friend gives him Maria. She was already a trained raven, and then they both kind of formed a bond over time.
I think everyone loves Maria. Maria really caught on.
Of course they do. Maria's
do.
awesome.
Like even though I knew that I'd given you the same files that I'd used for the mark audio for Maria's sound effects for the Blood Moon, that was still chilling when I heard the exact same voice. Like, oh, it's our actual Maria.
Oh,
I anticipated it, but it just worked.
Did you send me the same audio files that you used for the first?
Yeah, I sent you the same ones that I used for my edit for Marco. So I knew there was going to be the same sounding Maria, but when I was listening in the premiere, I was like, it's the Maria. I don't know, it just struck me really powerfully. It was so good.
I'm glad I could match the pattern of bird sounds.
Since we're on the subject of Maria, I have been collecting chat questions as best as I can, guys, but there's one that relates right now. Somebody asked, what's the boys' opinions on Maria?
That's
so do you think she's a sweetie and always has little snacks for her?
I think Timmy was probably afraid of the bird at first.
I think Marco would have conditioned her to not like Timmy as much.
Attack Timmy at random.
Just constantly like go find me a scale, and then just starts pecking at Timmy.
I've told you, I used to have a parent that I taught to sick my younger sister, and those are the vibes I'm getting right now. Marco has taught Maria to sick.
Maria is definitely Marco's sister. Like, hands down, feathery sister.
I bet Maria just has like a little like jar full of like Timmy scales that's popped off.
Actually, that's pretty. Yeah, I think we gotta make that canon.
Oh my gosh.
She's got her own jar. Like, she starts using vases in Bodhi's cabin as her, like, where she stores things, and Bodhi will just all of a sudden find something filled with objects.
Jesus.
How many times does Maria drop acorns on Timmy?
All the time. We'll find one to drop.
Maria, fetch.
Oh god.
We have a stack of questions from Lucky Stardust. Why do 3 gators instead of just 1 gator? What was the reason for there to be a trio?
More
Because we're all
gators,
friends, and
fun.
we do things as a whole,
And, like,
which almost
like-
didn't happen.
Hey, guys, remember these started out as just OCs. When they were conceptualized, there was no plan to make a big old interconnecting series or anything. This was just for fun.
Yeah. So like even in the beginning, like it was just a whole bunch of people making like Gator Boy OCs. So like the concept of just calling them Gator Boys was just this first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, you had the characters before you had the idea of doing a series, I guess.
Yeah, because like everybody was making a Gator Boy, and it was like super fun, and it was just kind of funny, just coming up with these like ridiculous situations.
I'd like to also circle back, because like before we ever even met Mage and we were making Gator Boys, like just sketches, Siren's server and kind of community is what brought us all together in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's why we based it in that universe, and we were just kind of having fun at that point.
Yeah.
And it evolved like everything does.
Yes, hopefully for the better.
That was actually one of the
history.
questions that I caught from the Chaz. Why did you put the Gator Boys inside Siren's universe instead of making your own, from Jokuso? So there you go. That's where we met. That's where we started creating characters together, and it just made sense to keep them there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Siren.
Thank you, Siren.
Yeah, shout out to Siren.
It was these 3 that met in Siren's server. I've just been dragged along recently.
You're part of the
Having
team
a
now.
blast.
We're keeping this.
You were willingly dragged. You were helping them drag you.
I mean,
You were
right.
kicking the ground like, take me, take me.
take me instead.
I'm glad you did.
I'm delighted.
You fit the voice very well. Go on, next one.
Thank you for having me. Question from a previous question by Divine that I've now just lost. Would Maria have a sassy side? I think basically, yeah.
Maria is nothing but a sassy side as far as I'm
Yeah,
aware.
I was like, one side? Are you sure?
No.
All sides.
She has a habit
She's a
Where-
sphere, only one side.
She's a trained raven, so she can retrieve items, right? And like simple things. But like if there's something ridiculous like that you request from her, she'll bring you back like a rock or an acorn to fall on your head because she's like, I can't find this.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Your suggestion was crap, and here's what I think of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that from what I saw from the documents that she's basically like she's just an ordinary raven that's just been trained. She's not like a special half blood. She's not like
No.
particularly more intelligent than anything. She's just an ordinary raven, and that makes her even more special than otherwise. I love that.
Similarly, I see my boy Kenai, my German Shepherd, as my little brother. Same thing. Like she is his little sister,
Yeah.
who's probably older than him by raven years.
I have a crush.
She's a
Mac
raven.
Van, is Maria a raven or a crow? Raven.
Yeah.
Further question from Lucky Stardust. What types of pranks has Marco pulled on Timothy other than the cattail prank?
I want to say the scales one now. That one's great. Just sending Maria off to collect. Like your debt needs to be paid. Come here, Timmy. Give me your shiny scales.
Oh, Scooter says Maria is the best little sister.
She is. Scandalous
Luna-
little thing.
Unless you
Luna
ask Timmy, in
Skywolf.
which case. Sorry.
Luna Skywolf Unknown. That's the question a whole bunch of people have asked. I need to know their favorite colors.
I already announced that Marco's will be purple, even though his signature color is red.
Bodhi likes bright, bright blues. There is a type of butterfly that resides in the swamp that's just this vibrant blue, and that's his favorite color.
And Timmy's, his favorite color is like a yellowy orange, so like kind of like the gold color.
Same as his signature. It's funny because
Cap.
the boys are
Cap.
all primary colors. Why would he do?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like. I remember when I was like drawing all of them for the Blood Moon AU, and I had all of their like their profiles on the side. I saw that it was like blue or yellow and red, and I'm just like, oh my god! And I just never noticed until then. I'm just like,
It comes from too many years of watching Sentais and things like that. Like, color coding is so important in your character design, okay?
it is.
You live, you breathe that color.
Dave, did you say that Marco's poncho was going to be a different color before you realized?
Yes. I was going to make it brown, and then I saw blue and yellow and went, we need a red.
They do look really cool together.
Yeah.
Question from Cabu. Theoretically, lore-wise, and out of pure curiosity, could I smooch all the Gator
I answered that question already. Get out of here. If you can reach.
Further questions from Lucky Stardust. Will we get a blooper video on all the Gator Boys? This has also been asked by a few other people with a slight variation from Sleepy. Also asking if you made a mistake while recording and lost it. It also says keep up the good work. So will there be a blooper video specific for Gator Boys and basically any anecdotes about getting bloopers?
I mean, it would be a bit of a challenge because I would have to kind of keep it in mind. Also, like to have like everybody who does voice a character in Gator Boys, I guess I'll have to ask them like, hey, if you make a mistake or something, please keep it and send it over so I can create a little blooper reel. I mean, so if everybody who has voiced the character in Gator Boys like is here in the chat, please send it to me. I love them because then it makes me feel better because I know I'm not the only one making mistakes.
I make a lot of mistakes while recording, but they're just not interesting. It's just like
yeah,
I get
that's
halfway
true.
through a sentence and it doesn't sound right, and I just start again.
Yeah, because some are funny, some are not. So it's the
Yeah.
funny ones that are difficult to catch.
Yeah, I don't get funny ones that often. I just get boring ones. Ages back, this might have been before we even met. I had a blooper in an earlier audio where I was being loud and emotional. And then one of my dogs burst through the door and jumped up trying to see, are you okay? What's going on? Do you need a hug? It's like, no, I'm just acting, you nana. Get out of here. So I shut the door.
Mid recording is I'm believe it or not, guys, I am making a blooper reel just of my dog interrupting me while I'm recording. Because the amount of times that little son of a fluff has interrupted me
question from Glitch. Who gives the best hugs out of the three?
Bodhi.
Bodhi.
Bodhi, yeah.
Bodhi.
Come on. Come
Bodhi
on.
has been denied
Easily.
hugs after his whole family was disappeared. Yeah, no, he's been craving a good hug, so he's been
By a
practicing on the
mile wide
trees.
arm length.
Yeah. Also, Timmy's too pointy, so you know.
Next
looking
question
sharp.
from Lucky Stardust. Okay, that one's one of the spoiler ones we might skip. What kind of sick mind did y'all have making the Blood Moon AU? That was scary shit as hell. I think you guys had a little too much fun.
You gotta understand, as a writer, I love tormenting my audience. I had a comic I made years ago, and my favorite review of all time was, "How dare you?" That stuff gives me life.
Oh my god, it does. Sadly, it's like this. It's like the little sadistic side in the back of our heads when we're like making stories. Like any story writer, they're gonna want something dark, but like when you finally do get to show everybody, oh yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't do that again. It's so mean.
I make
Hey,
no
when's the next
promises.
blood moon?
It sadly it won't be till like another a full blood moon. I think it's not until 2025.
Gives us some
for the
time.
rest of
Are
the
we gonna keep
next
doing Gator Boys for 2
two-
years?
It'll be
well, no,
twice
we
as
can
long.
still like do like partial blood moons. Who knows?
Mm.
Who knows? I mean, like, is Bug alive? Are they not? I don't know.
Ooh. The
Not
question
for
just popped up
long.
in the chat. I can't wait for you to get to.
What do you think happens?
Like seriously, I have no idea. We just kind of left it like that. We didn't think about it after that.
Tune in next time in 2025.
I wonder.
Will we ever see Bodhi wearing a dress like that one in the one video of Bodina?
I might draw it. I did a
And-
really
High
bad
res.
drawing, but I haven't done like a full-on dress.
That was a really cool one. And one last question from Lucky Stardust. Will we ever see a female gator, like a gator girl?
Can't really say.
I mean, okay, I'm not gonna like spoil it, but I have sketched something out, but nothing has been written because it's still in concept. The image that I sent you, M.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So like I have sketched, but it's not public because, in all honesty, same thing. I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Stories will be pending, is what
Yeah.
they're saying.
Jesse says, "Hi, gator girl, please." Amber Wolf asks, I was wondering how many times Obsidian laughed when doing the Timmy voice.
I don't think it's laughed doing the voice. I mean, maybe when I like fuck up real bad, but
I guess I'll come on to like the talk about bloopers we did before.
yeah.
Maiden of Chaos asks, how would Timmy react if he was just given a museum collection of rocks and shiny things?
He would not have a single clue on what to do with all of them. Probably grab the really pretty ones, but like replace it with like a painted rock and dip.
Just imagine like he walks in and looks around and is just like starstruck. If he's like, I just imagine like guided in by like Bodhi. Just like look what I got you.
It's like probably like a place that they like to visit like often.
Y'all ever see Cat's eyes dilate super big?
Yeah, that'd be Timmy. Yeah.
Shiny. Phoenix Flight has an interesting question. Does Marco draw from memory, which would indicate that he has a very good photographic memory, or does he have to sit and watch whatever he's drawing while drawing, which would show he's patient but also hyper-focused? Or does he just draw it really quickly, which is pretty darn impressive? Strange question, but I'm just curious.
Aw. I want to say he's actually like Maria, where if she's seen an object before, she can get it or find it again, depending on situations. I would like to think that Marco, if he's drawn it before, can do it again, so he has good memory where it sticks. But I don't want to say that he has like photographic memory. He would have to get to know it first, and then he could just draw it from however he would like afterwards. He is not a camera, no.
Hi, Alex. We have a question from the
Alex.
Ghost Doctor in block capitals. Who is your favorite Gator? What's going to happen to Timmy? And did Timmy and Bug have crushes on each other?
I feel
I guess
like
the only
half
one
of
that
this is, like, a little bit spoilery.
Yeah, the only part that doesn't go into like future episode potential questions would be who's your favorite? Which, come to think of it, we've answered already.
It's Bodhi.
Okay, so I still want to ask that because it's in block capitals. I was very excited.
That's fair.
Indigo Thinker asks, firstly, can't wait to hear it. Clap for claps to talk about the Q&A stream. It's okay for me to ask, what was the inspiration behind each character? You were all really talented. Thanks for sharing this wonderful story. Fireworks emoji.
Aw,
Aw,
thank
thank
you.
Well, as we said at the start, the original inspiration was the Alligator Sings a Song rap. As far as inspiration for Bodhi
Like
himself,
characterization, maybe, or design?
yeah,
Specific?
I wanted a big beefy gator man. And because I had, like, picturing this in Siren's universe, I pictured Siren's voice for this character, thus the beef factor. That's kind of his trademark character.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just wanted to be kind of, very lovable, very kind, that kind of thing.
In the corner of the eye, I just like saw like in real quick, like can the Gator Boys do the death roll?
Bodhi can in D&D.
I think he can
There's a
probably do it in
specific
real
skill
life.
I had him get.
I doubt Timmy can do it. He's still too tiny.
Why Bodhi
The
has to be
death
careful
roll
with his
sounds
hug.
like something that they would use to wake each other up.
Oh God!
It does. My sister used to
It's just rough housing with siblings.
like steamrolling was when you would lay your body across the bed longwise and then just roll on top of them, continue on, and then fall to the floor before they ever wake up.
Probably.
Death roll would definitely be more intense.
But going back to the original question, I was inspired off Bodhi, and him being so big. I was thinking of like contrasting that and making someone like kind of smaller, just to kind of have like that dynamic little duo. Like having all these like giant gators. It's like, what if he was just like a small little like just like a stick gator and just like
Little scamp.
Say that again. What is he like?
I'm not repeating.
Don't worry, we can listen to the recording.
Right.
What about Marco Day?
So, because I had more time with him and I wasn't posting anything and I didn't plan really to post him to the public, he was mostly inspired by my friends. So, creativity wise, mannerism, just kind of the little things I would steal from my friends.
Question from Milku Bunny. Not a brackets, not a question. Love that the dragon brackets I think pops up out of the cup. Smiley face. That's you, Day. I've lost an ever, so at least one of the person commented on the icons being really cute.
Thank you.
I feel like I should. I should credit my icon is made by Alex Ray, who is also a VA.
Who's a beast?
Heck yeah. Oh, that one's slightly spoilery. I'll say it anyway for fun. Like, as in, it's talk about potential what happens in future episodes. But I like the way it's worded. Peyton, the VIP, asks, "I have a question for Timmy. Do you have a crush on Little Bug? I won't tell Bodhi, I promise." Eyes emoji.
Oh my God.
This was asked a lot. Yes, and it's not about the first few questions. We'll skim over if that's all right.
Yeah.
Starquill has a bunch of questions. How long does it take to complete one audio from start to finish, art included? This is mainly for Obi.
That varies. Believe it or not, like the reason why the next episode for Gator Boys has kind of been taking a bit longer than usual is because our VAs are living life and dealing with life, me included. Um, so we've kind of had to be doing like these little in between episodes, more or less, to kind of at least like continue the Gator Boys and not just completely leave them barren. But if everybody was to like suddenly just like send the lines and like if everybody sends the lines on time, then it could be finished within like a week, depending on the complexity. The fastest I've ever composed an episode was within a day.
As 3.5 was our fastest written and drawn episode ever.
Never mind. We did That's right.
We did that one in like 3 hours, maybe max.
Yeah, I mean it was a shorter episode, but it was literally like on April Fools, and we were just like we were just like contemplating like, oh, it'd be hilarious if we did this and that, and then I'm just like, why don't we? And and then I'm just like, wait, I can't like make art that fast. And I'm like, you know what? Just screw it. I'm just gonna scribble it. We started asking random people like, hey, can you voice this real quick?
Burrito, who is in the chat right now, I DM'd them in the middle, like, hey, I need you to be a frog for me real quick.
A Spanish frog
They
specifically.
came through.
And it was like, I know it was like for shits and giggles, but like it was still so much fun. Oh my god. And in a way, it is kind of canon because it is a fever dream.
Yes.
Yeah, it was when we were figuring out where to put
gumbo?
when we were figuring out where to put the Marco audio. It made the most sense to put it directly after 3.5, which made 3.5 canon. So like, okay, we'll call it 3.7.
And that just became a thing.
Yeah. Next question from Starquill. I guess as a follow-up, how long did it take you to finish one illustration?
And you can also answer this too because you have done some art for Gator Boys. I think it was episode 5.
No, it was 4.
4?
Was
No,
it?
it was 4. Yeah, not 5.
Yeah.
5 was most recent. 4. Yeah. I guess that also varies. Because now I'm including more like instead of just like the Gator Boys, just like them, and then like a blurry background, kind of how we see now. It's an actual scene because like I just enjoy drawing like situations because like you kind of get a better idea of like what's going on and like I just had to. But it takes around like a day to 2 days because I usually get pretty excited and I just hyper focus on that. So like a day or 2.
Yeah, I really try to get my art done in a single day. Just because if I stop, I'm probably not going to finish it. I would say the piece I did for episode 4 probably took me about 6 hours to do. I hunkered down.
Their speed.
Yeah.
I think I reached my maximum artistic ability 10 minutes in.
Does everyone want to see my Twitter icon?
Yeah, go check out Twitter. Go check out Dave's Twitter, please. It's beautiful.
It's got the most amazing art.
I love it so much.
Mage is such an artist. I love it.
No. Moonbell Mage says Day's icon is kind of like a pocket dragon.
Well observed.
Little Day in a cup.
I actually have a picture on my Twitter that there's a pun that says, "Don't worry, she'll be out in a couple of minutes."
Next question from Starquill was, how easy it for y'all to put on the southern accent? Because it's great.
Pretty easy. At least because like it's somewhat ish natural. I mean, I don't want to say actually natural because I'm not Southern, but you know, I guess it's an accent that I've practiced before, so I guess I just got it easy.
Yeah, Mage, how do you do the country accent?
Well, you know, it takes me a while, and
I think what's it called? Can I do it just real quick? I think you just activate it. Like, can I just activate it a little bit?
You did have someone request to do the voice, so. Bugisku? I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, yeah, I said do the voice, Obi, earlier on in the chat.
Nah, y'all just.
So there you go.
Bug is cool.
Nah, y'all just
when
crazy, aren't you?
Kevin,
Should
you
I
might get
just do
stuck in the accent.
the Timmy accent for the rest of the video
Yes,
and
feed
see
your
if I can keep
fans.
it up?
Please, they're starving. So is Kabu, because he keeps eating everything.
Boy. No, okay.
Keep your mouth
Let's
all
make it
that.
a challenge. I'm gonna try to keep up the Timmy accent more or
Oh
less.
God.
As long as I can throughout the entire duration of this Q&A.
See,
Have fun with that.
I can't do a southern accent. I will only go into Minnesotan. Any accent I do, I go Minnesotan. And that's why Bodina has this voice, don't ya know? I was trying to fake a southern accent so I could pretend to be female Siren, and it just didn't work.
You betcha.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
you
worked for me.
betcha. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Question from before I get to that question, when I first was told about hey, they might want you to play Marco, that was all the information I had for like I was walking around for like an hour or two going, can I do the accent as well? I assumed I'd have to do the same accent as Timmy and Bodhi to fit in. It's like, well, I'm being asked for this character, can I? And I was trying to figure out if I could before like an hour or so later I sat down with Emma. Was no, just your regular accent. I was like, okay, that'll be easier. I was gonna give it a go, but also at the same time, are you sure you're asking the right person?
Talk about a weight off your shoulders. Oh god, this is gonna be real hard.
Oh my god!
This is gonna be real hard to keep this up because if I don't consistently talk in the accent, he's gonna lose it. So I'm gonna sound real weird after a while.
You don't Duck will hit you on the head with a book about philosophy.
Yo, philosophy.
Question from Alex Ray. We do take questions from chat. Drop one here. Out of all the characters from the Gator universe, which one took the longest to figure out their lore/history to fit into the story?
I think it was probably Mako again because he wasn't. Cause we did Timmy and Bodhi, and those kind of just like appeared in our heads, and it was just kind of a scenario as we were just kind of role playing more or less. Wow, this is real hard.
Oh my god!
And then
Without cracking up.
No now.
And then with Mako, at least, since it was mainly Day's character, we didn't want to just like, yo, you need to create a backstory right now. It's like, nah, take your time. And Day also being a little bit secretive, she kind of just kept it to herself, which is not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. And there's still a lot of like backstory from the boys that we're kind of like keeping on the side because we still have to figure out if it fits in the world. But yeah, I think it goes back to Mako still being it's not a little bit harder to put in, but. And
I don't know if you'll remember.
I know Timmy for me was pretty easy, but that again is my character.
You definitely had the most backstory written up before we started the series. Like, I saw your entire like history of the world, Timmy style, and was looking at Bodhi's going, "Oh my god, I got a lot of writing to do."
Yeah.
It was great. It was really inspiring and motivating to see what you'd written and see how that fed into what I wanted for Bodhi.
They make fantastic character notes.
Yeah.
Like I agree, it's inspiring. Unfortunately, a whole bunch of further questions from Starkville do get into spoiler stuff, so I might skim over those. Including, why is Timmy turning white? Who is Marco looking for? Is Rhodey still alive? Are they gonna find Rhodey in the arena? Is anyone gonna die?
God damn!
Everyone dies eventually.
Emmy has asked a few questions I've noticed a few people ask. Are any of the characters neurodivergent, dyslexic, autism, etc.?
Marco does have a food problem. He does not have a healthy relationship with it. That is all I will go into. Bodhi has had a healthy input into getting him out of it.
And mutually, there is Bodhi did have a problem that I'm not going to go into because it will be discussed in a not so distant episode, which Marco was a huge help getting out of as well. As far as neurodivergent, like ADHD, autism, that kind of thing, I personally haven't written anything in, but there is no reason, like if you as a listener see traits in there that could be linked to that, I am totally okay with people headcanoning it. If that makes you relate to a character more, if that makes you appreciate a character, go for it. Just because I haven't written it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be a thing.
I love that. Yeah. I feel like the development of like headcanon kind of stuff is it's amongst the highest compliments.
Absolutely.
Obi, did you want to mention Timmy's PTSD?
Wait, is it because of Maria?
I was gonna say cattail, but
He has a bird phobia.
It is not because of the cattails. Okay, maybe Maria a little bit, because while he was traveling, he was also dodging freaking what's in calls?
vultures?
Probably vultures. Yeah, that boy was like on death row right there and then.
He was a small thing, so he could have gotten picked up.
But no, the only thing I guess Timmy has trouble with, but that's just because of the situation that he's in. It takes a little bit longer for him to read, but that's just because he doesn't go to school because he's in the middle of the swamp. I think Bodhi knows how to read pretty well. Yeah.
Bodhi can read. He doesn't. He struggles a little bit with large words, but he can read well enough.
All right. Yeah.
He could read Timmy bedtime stories when he was little.
Oh.
But it's just pronouncing really big words, and I also have problems pronouncing really big words.
Probably because Timmy learned to read from Bodhi.
Probably. I don't know if this would make sense, but if anything, he's not the best artist in the world. And his handwriting is a little bit chicken scratch. It is what it is. But minus that, yeah, he's a pretty normal kid. Besides, the trauma, but that's pretty much it.
That's an interesting question. Scarlet Storm asks, I don't know if this is something that will be brought up later, so we can skim over, but why did Bug become a hunter?
Well,
That
Money.
reason is really up to you as a listener. We have tried to write it so that Bug can be however you picture it. Like, there are some traits that are set in stone, but for the most part, we've kept it vague so that you can write that story however you want. Bug is your character. One of the possible reasons is the bounties that have been placed on the Gators of the Swamp. So it could be that maybe Bug has been struggling for money. Maybe Bug has been looking for fame. There are all kinds of reasons that you can come up with for that.
maybe something happened that Bug was attacked or their family was attacked by a gator and now they want revenge. Who knows?
Oh my god, the accent.
It's just going to stay there. I'm actually kind of impressed that I've been able to keep it up this long. And I'm probably going to be stuck with it for a while too. So,
I didn't realize Banjo was a language.
Who Disco asks, does he have hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia?
Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia.
Hippopotamus straw escopedalophobia. What the fuck?
Diddlyphobia!
Close enough.
Okay, well, there's a line we could put in later.
No. Oh god, please no.
Next fever dream. Let's go.
So Peachy has just asked what Gator Boys you will relate to most and why. P.S. Hope you're all having a lovely day. That's a good question for chat as well.
Timmy. The chaotic energy.
I think I relate more to Marco. Marco gives me serious middle child vibes, and as a middle child,
Yes.
yeah.
Good. I'm so happy you said that.
I feel like he's the most relatable of the three. Like, I don't like they're all separate characters to me rather than specifically a character to be related to as like a character. That's not essentially their goal. They're still a character unto themselves, and that seems to be the main purpose for them. But between the three, I'd probably err closest to Marco.
I think it's the Blood Moon audio that did it for me, that I relate to Timmy more because he just has fun messing with this listener. He's psychotic.
Marco is middle child confirmed. I don't think we should answer.
I will say no more. But that was a little bit of feeding the goldfish.
Yeah. I did put a little bit of myself into Timmy, so I guess I kind of relate to him. In a sense,
Like tiny things.
I do actually collect rocks. I do like crystals. They're actually quite fascinating to me. So I thought I'd introduce that trait to it. Like I did want originally to have him like drawing and stuff, but then when they put Marco as the artist, I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna I'm gonna let him have that. Oh, there he goes. But I'm just like, I need
So-
him to do something. So like, yeah,
Can we clip this and include it as Timmy bloopers?
probably.
Um.
The swamp
Next
ain't big
question.
enough for the three of us.
Oh my god.
Draw! Marcos just gets his notepad.
Next question from Starkwill was, where do other gators live?
Depending on
Are there
Siren's
more?
universe.
Are there more essentially more gator half bloods in the swamp or elsewhere in the world?
Literally up to him, I think.
In the swamp, no. Bodhi's family is is the group that resided in that swamp, and Bodhi is the last of his family that's living.
Yeah.
Outside of it, he's got no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think I did talk to Siren about this, like about like reptilian half bloods in general, and he did tell me that they're kind of rare if it's not a dragon. As for gators, what they know is what's in the swamp, and most of them either were killed off or they had to move for obvious reasons. But they're not like a plethora of gator folk. There's just a little couple, but sadly now there's less due to obvious reasons.
It's also up to the community. Because I feel like if people wanted to make their own, they could.
Yeah.
I fully support more Gator OCs,
Crocodile.
for the record. Gator Croc OCs, yeah.
Emmy says, Timmy's favorite crystal is bug. Changed my mind. Oh.
Well, aren't you just the sweetest?
Each and every one of you listeners is a gem.
And last question from Starkwill. What time is this set in? I don't know much about Siren's universe. I will come up with a million more questions upon my next re-listen.
Okay.
So it feels sort of like medieval-ish
Yeah.
in Alterra.
Yeah,
Generic medieval-ish setting, but it is modern-day Altera as far as that goes.
Yeah. If you're going like more specific as to like when in Siren's timeline this is placed, that we are also trying to figure out because when we created like the Gator Boys series, we didn't want to like just like shove our characters in like in space and be like it has to be like this. Nah. So it's still kind of open to be like non-canon. So but kind of current to like current situations or current.
Karen
I don't even know. But kind of current as to I guess more of like the recent uploads that he's done. So kind of within that same time frame. I say kind of.
Oh,
Please
I
say
wrote out
with
my
a grain of
keyboard,
salt,
sorry
because I
about
have we're still trying to decide that.
Nix's note asks, how do you guys feel about fans creating their own Gator OCs? I have one who's small but very fast and prides herself on her hunting skills. Because we talked about OCs just a moment ago.
Yeah. I completely support fan content.
Yes.
Like, it's like Mage said earlier, that is a huge compliment. You guys are invested in content that we created, and it has inspired you to make more. I love it.
And it even inspires us sometimes. Like I have
Yeah.
had like a couple of fan arts sent to me, and that like automatically like helps me like just like, oh my god, wait a minute, that gives me an idea, and then like it kind of just like continues to grow as so like
It's amazing to see.
it is
Okay.
it is the best thing to see, especially like after like a rough day, we see some fan art, it's like, oh my heart, and we can slip through.
Willow, if you do, and anybody else, if you make Gator OCs, please tag me on Twitter. I want to see it.
Yes.
Neat.
Next question is from Sussy Bun, asking if Bug didn't freak out and saw that when Bodhi's if Bug didn't freak out and saw that when Bodhi scared off them hunters, it was cool. How do you think the boys would have reacted? So if when Bodhi scared off the hunters, Bug didn't get scared, they were like, "Oh, that's a cool trick you've got." How would the lads have reacted to that? I guess
Bodhi
not a
would probably
passive
blush.
reaction.
He would get kind of shy, just like, well, no big deal.
It's true, yeah. It'd be kind of just like the also rooting with Timmy, who was also giving him the thumbs up. Because the two kind of like have grown like a habit to like scaring people off. So like it's always just like let's see what the next show is.
People are asking in the chat if they don't have Twitter and want to tag you.
Join major server.
it's
Yeah,
not
we're
the
gonna-
Gator Boys
We're gonna
server.
do a violent takeover of the bunk shelf and take it for Gator Boys content. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, you could post it there, or I don't
We
know
can look
how
into making
Obi
one.
feels about. We could definitely look into a Discord.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know how Obi feels about emails, but I also have a business email on my channel that you're welcome to send fan art to.
Yeah, and there's also, since this being Siren's universe, and if you are already there in Siren's Discord, you can always post it there and just tag us. We don't mind.
Yeah.
So Siren Sun's Discord is, I think anyone can join. My Discord, the Bunk Shelf, is predominantly 18 plus.
And 16 and up for Siren server. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Good data. Yeah, the link to mine if anyone's interested. It's cool if you don't, but if you just type into a new tab, magebunkshelf.card.co, that's card with 2 R's. That's my links. Pluggaroony. Okay, next question. Spoonie, and a lot of people, even today, has asked, where does Bodhi get the sausages for his gumbo?
Bold of you to assume that it's always sausage, and bold of you to assume that it's always the same meat.
I'd also add question for regular series and question for Blood Moon. There could be 2 different answers.
Oh God, y'all don't want to know where he gets the sausages for his gumbo in Blood Moon. You would not like that answer. But for Canon AU, it's just whatever he happens to catch that day usually. Sometimes Marco will come back and have brought sausages or some other kind of fancy meat from his travels, and we'll donate that to the gumbo. But generally, it's catfish, it's crawdads. There's no true recipe for his gumbo. He learned from his grandmother to cook from the heart, and the heart tells you different things on different days.
Fair enough. Next question. All makeup SFX. So we asked which is a favorite. If you were one of the Gators of the series, who would it be and why?
Well, obviously I'd be Timmy. Yeah.
So rather than like who you would voice, who would you be if you lived in that world? I think.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it'd kind of suck, but I'd probably stick with Timmy. He's pretty okay right now, kind of, but he's kind of okay right now. Kind of.
Can you say the question again?
If you were one of the Gators in the series, not as a voice actor, but being the actual character, who would you be?
That's true. She likes to force feed her friends.
Okay, well, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Calling
jeez.
you out.
Yes, that made a certain choice.
Oh, you betcha. I don't know who I'd be. I'd be Maria. I'd be a lackey for one of the boys.
Oh my god. MVP.
Spilling the tea to Marco and pointing out things they missed. And also harassing Timmy.
Well, of course.
I love that.
I have difficulty answering these kinds of questions because for me to be, not to get all philosophical out of nowhere, but for me to be that character means I would no longer be myself, and I don't know if I could then answer it. So I withdraw from the question, I'm afraid. It just gets existential. It's like, but then I wouldn't be me. So, like I said at the start, some of the names I just went with the name that I had from the screenshots of the question, and it seems to show the internal assigned ID for the channel and not the name. So, from this question was asked by user-cs9wh3jw2n. Sorry, your actual name didn't get preserved. But whoever this was, I know this is weird, but what are the boys like on a full moon? And do you want to get into how the full moon works in Altera?
So, canonically, full moons make the half-bloods more bestial. That doesn't necessarily mean they transform like a werewolf, but they go into a more instinctive, animalistic side to some extent. How the boys react, do you guys think that's too spoilery?
I mean,
I don't know if it's going to come up explicitly.
it might. I mean, if anything, think of it as like a toned down version of the Blood Moon AU. Like a much more toned down version of Blood Moon AU, like real low. Bodhi gets a bit more clingy, probably a bit more emotional and kind of like up there. Timmy is a wild little son of a gun. As for Mako, actually, I don't really know about Mako. Is he kind of like how he is in the Blood Moon AU, or a little different?
I can't take your fucking accent for one.
Well, too bad. You're gonna have to deal with it like I'm dealing with it.
I love it and hate it at the same time. I feel like he'd either be more reserved or more like he'd want to be with one individual specifically. Like maybe Bug, he would just hoard them in a room and just stay there. He would get clingy in a different way.
Bodhi doesn't get clingy. Bodhi hates the full moon. It turns him into something he doesn't like, and he explicitly locks himself away for the duration.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, there's.
Question from Alistair Spoons. Does Maria like Bug? I guess I've only really met once, and it's already? Oh.
Maria loves Bug. She loves anyone who doesn't piss her off or asks her of things, and Bug doesn't ask anything of her, I don't think.
Bug hasn't had the opportunity to piss her off.
Right. Like, if you're not on the shit list, you're good. She loves you.
Mm.
She's a very affectionate bird, but, like, she's not the moment you give her a task she can't do and she gets frustrated with you, it's gonna stick with her. Like, ravens have great memory, and they're very smart. So if there's no reason to hate you, she won't. She'll love you.
The more I learn about Bodhi, the more I love him. Oh.
Oh.
Lucky Wolf says, I can barely hear Opie with my volume maxed out. Are you able to boost your volume slightly on your end?
Yeah, turn up the country, boy.
Oh, wait. I think I just need to get a little bit... Oh my god, it's already set. I think I just need to be a little bit closer to the mic because sadly, unironically, right now, I'm going to have probably the worst microphone out of everybody here. I do apologize. But
you got your mic going
directly
into OBS, whereas the rest of us are on Discord, so Discord is balancing out all of our voices. So, like, leaning back from the mic will be more potent, because like, if I lean back from the mic here, Discord will bump me up a bit, whereas you've got the raw mic going straight in.
Yeah, so my mic is going to be a little bit on the wonky side. I am still trying to figure out more or less how this streaming thing works. But yeah, I do apologize. Do you guys hear me a little bit better now? I'm like right next to the mic.
You sound louder to me.
I can hear the barbecue.
It ain't barbecue, it's gumbo. Get it right.
Barbecue gumbo?
Oh my god. Bodhi might have to try a new recipe.
Okay. Serrano Catty 9280. For all the Gator Boys, what is your prized possession that you'll keep close to your heart?
Bodhi's is the little like wooden lizard trinket that he gave to his brother.
I don't think Timmy has like a specific thing. At least not yet. I don't know.
Thought there was, but I'll stay quiet if you want me to.
Go for it.
No. Oh, I was saying to Obi, like, I swear that there was one, but I'll stay quiet if it's part of the plot.
What was it?
I thought, hold on, I'll just DM. I don't want to say anything.
Just in case he might be a little sportless.
Right, while they're DMing, please forgive me. Lieni Paint says, Sonidos de felicidad. Should we go through the entire question reading? Esto es justo lo que quería. Heart eyes emoji. Mis preguntas. Uno. Marco, ¿cómo te comunicas con tu cuervo?
Uh, ¿Qué?
Marco, ¿cómo te comunicas con tu cuervo?
I translate these. I think this was how does Marco communicate with the bird, with Maria?
There's no like she'll remember words. Like it's just like a dog. Like you can
Just a
teach
trained-
them, yeah, like
Mm.
what things mean, and they'll associate and learn as they go. And ravens are very smart birds, so he could point at something, say the word, and then they kind of test it out, and then she'd go fetch that for you. Like he could pick up a cattail and be like cattail, or like like go get a cattail, and then she could go get one if she finds one, which they're in a swamp. Absolutely, she could find one.
Question dos. Tim serious mi novio? Suggestive face and heart emoji. Was that can Tim be my boyfriend? Did I translate
That's
that?
how I
right?
read that.
Aw.
More or less, yeah. That's kind of what it is.
Oh, please don't kill me. Tres. Para todo, ¿cuál es su comida favorita?
¿Cuál es tu comida favorita?
That's what I said.
I should have the question because at least I can. Okay, heads up, guys. I do speak Spanish and I can read it more or less. I do. Really
So you
bad.
get,
Sorry.
so you can confirm to everyone that I was accurate.
Yeah. My favorite sandwich. Yep, my favorite food is sandwiches. As for Timmy, probably eggs and sausage. Yeah.
Ew. I like spaghetti carbonara.
I like pizza. Bodhi doesn't have a favorite food.
The dragon in color.
I didn't want to be basic because Mage
No.
said spaghetti, and I was like, dang it, that's fine.
It's allowed to have
More than
similar
one
interests
person
in
is
food.
allowed to enjoy spag.
I love me some spag. Don't touch my spaghetti.
Come, Spimmy equals Spanish Timmy.
Wait, can I do a Spanish country accent?
Oh my!
There's only one way to find out.
Spinny.
I'm afraid to try. Oh my god.
Country.
Floor's all yours.
Spanish.
Eh,
So cowboy.
Ok, un momentico, porque estoy viendo si yo te puedo. Y también yo no quiero que mi mamá entre al cuarto. ¿Y por qué tú estás hablando español? I can't. No, I can't.
Pobrecito.
¿Qué
No,
dices?
I can't. No, the accent completely like diminishes the moment I try doing Spanish. Like I have to like reset a little bit.
¿No puedes hablar en español? No,
No, no
see,
puedo.
I went straight
No,
Bodina again.
No puedo hablar español y también hacer
That's malo.
acento.
Hurricane Tortilla.
I can't do the accent and do Spanish at the same time. Like there's a Spanish accent that kind of takes over.
You broke
So-
the voice actor. Are you people proud of yourself?
Wow.
Okay, think of it this way: if I do Spanish accent with country, it's gonna sound like what they call gringo, which is like broken Spanish. Like white people
Oh.
try to speak Spanish, which is not good. And no offense, but it's just that you guys like. It is what it is. Like the accent isn't there, so it sounds a little bit broken.
Basically, what I did.
Yeah. Actually, you had a little bit of a British broken Spanish accent, which is kind of interesting.
Don't big up what I did.
It is actually kind of interesting. Because there was a bit of a British accent behind the Spanish, and I'm just like, so that's what it sounds
It
like.
was fascinating.
Sony
I was both
knows the
impressed and
felicidad.
Oh my god, I think my mother heard me a little bit. Oh god, I'm in danger.
Oh my god.
Gonna burst in through a chancla at you.
Obi's
A
gonna
question
get
from
you.
a few minutes ago. B. Lulu. Does Bodhi have any other hobbies besides cooking?
That is definitely his favorite hobby. He's also a big fan of fishing. He loves going out on the lake and just sitting there in silence, in just comfortable silence with people. He likes to be around people, so I wouldn't say specifically he likes to do any activity. He likes to do things with others.
And now that you say that, I love that Timmy comes into their lives and just breaks the peaceful silence.
And Bodhi is here
Destroys
for
it.
every minute of it.
Marco was not. It was the little brother that got born. He was like, can we put this back now?
Well, Timmy's not that loud all the time. Now, he likes to relax too every so often, but he's still young, so he still has a lot of energy.
I love it.
We have a question from Jacoso. If the Gators could be vines, what vine would they be? I guess a lot like the old Vine videos. This has been asked a couple of times. I think there might be a question coming up like that. And the next question we have is very similar. Urza Cyril asks if the Gator Boys were described as a song, what genre would they be? So what vine and what song or song genre?
All I can think of
I'm
is
too old for this question. I never got into Vine.
the what do you got there? And that's Bodhi, and then Timmy's like, a knife! And it's just poking Marco repeatedly, and then Bodhi's like, no!
Okay,
basically.
Oh, God damn, I don't really know, because I don't remember too many Vines. Because when I first started getting into it, that's when it got banned, and I'm just like, oh, damn. And then TikTok started taking over, and I'm just like, nah, I ain't getting in that. No.
There's free Shavakadu.
It's free Shavakadu.
How is the Timmy accent still going?
Because it got stuck there.
It's their secret default.
This is no longer a challenge. This is what it is. I'm going to be stuck like this for probably another couple of hours.
Yeah, you can get them stuck.
Willow Ivy has a handful of questions. When do you plan on bringing them back? Crying ASCII. So I guess a few people have asked when's the next episode, essentially. We can skim over if that's difficult to judge.
It's a little bit difficult to kind of more or less figure out, because we still have one or two voice actors that we have to get some lines for. Some things that we kind of have to redo a little bit, because believe it or not, with adding Marco to the script, at least with other chapters, we do kind of have to figure out how we're gonna like properly incorporate him. But at least for like the next upcoming episode, it's just getting in lines, because like I think it was like 3 months ago, it was a little bit awkward because we had a couple of voice actors that were moving, so like obviously you can't really like send lines. I was like in the middle of midterms because I'm still in school. And just recently I just finished finals too, so that's finally over.
Heck yeah.
But it's just kind of life kind of getting in the way, and we as much as we really love and want to like put out the episode, we kind of had to take care of our lives first, because like that's more important.
Yeah, we promise it's coming.
Yeah.
We just can't say when.
Yeah. But I believe pretty soon, because things have finally started settling down. I'm off class, so I can like re-record any lines that I have to. We're gonna be probably contacting all the other voice actors just to make sure that any lines that they have to redo, they can start doing them. I already got all the sound effects, but this is gonna be another pretty heavy like effects like episode. Heads up, so
Yes.
yeah.
Next question. Obi, could I direct you to the conspiratorium real quick? The next question is mainly for, I guess, Day. Will we meet Marco again?
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
of course.
If we didn't, I wouldn't have nothing here. I'd be kicked out.
No.
Who came up with Marco's design and overall character? Day, do you have any anecdotes you want to jump in, or do you think this has mainly been answered?
Wait, what was the question? I was reading chat.
Who came up with Marco's design and overall character?
Me.
This tiny dragon here.
Marco's all day.
That was me.
Yeah.
First audio, funnily enough, I had nothing to do with, so that's ironic.
You did too. You just didn't know it.
I love you guys.
And next question from Willow Ivy. Has Bodhi ever really left the swamp? Like Marco and Timmy go just about everywhere, but I've never heard Bodhi's adventures. Does he prefer to be more isolated than the other two, not really wanting anything to do with the
Wait.
humans? Bug is an exception.
He's a homebody.
I won't say why, but he has not gone out of the swamp. As a child, like he grew up in the environment of his family being hunted down. So his parents made sure to keep him in the swamp. And after they all left, he just hasn't been able to leave. No one's forcing him there except himself.
And last question from Willow Ivy. How old was Bodhi when he found Timmy? I've been curious about it for a while. Actually, how old are they in general? I think we've answered already how old they were, but how old
Yes,
was
but I
Bodhi
have the
and
doc with the
Timmy when they met?
timeline.
Yeah.
When Timmy arrived, Bodhi was 28 and Marco was 17, while Timmy was 10 at the time.
He was a baby.
He was a baby.
Apt username here from Bug. Are all half-bloods like Marco, like they understand animals or not?
It's not a, like, I can speak to animals kind of ability. It's just that's his raven, and he understands her better than everyone because of how much time they spent together. Kind of like how people are like, can I pet your dog? And then they can respond yes or no because they know how the dog's going to respond. Same with Marie and Marco.
We have a couple of questions from Goops the cat.
Love
At
Goops
what
with the
point?
fur.
At what point did Bug change her mind about the Gators being bad?
What point did you decide they were good?
Essentially, Bug going in as where they were coming from, with going to find the monsters of the swamp, essentially.
Exactly.
I guess. But at some point, I guess they were kind of won over during the first few episodes.
In my head, Bug changed their mind after episode 2 and seeing Timmy and Bodhi's interaction. Like episode 1, they were still very wary, which is why they left.
Yeah.
But going back and the reception they got really set in stone, like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be hunting.
And I think it was kind of like settled. Episode 4, if I'm correct. Like that's when they were like real open, and they decided to be like, yeah, okay. And the guilt kind of came in, and that's when they kind of like says like, hey, I'm a hunter, and Bull was like, I know. And
People are just saying episode 1, episode 2. Which is sweet. What is the deal with Marco being so busy? This might
Go ahead and find out.
might lean a bit into stuff that's
Make sure you watch the next episodes.
yeah.
Keep
But
up
also
to
partly
date.
as a reason partly is because he hadn't been cast, I guess. And what part of the world is Bug from in this universe? Are they sort of local to the swamp?
They're from the north. They're from, oh god, what's it called? Began with an A. It's one of the canon cities. Akan. They're from the city of Akan, which is a larger settlement within the Altera universe and a bit north of where they are now.
Oh, that's an interesting one from Happy Face just now. Does Marco have a love interest? I guess generally most characters tend not to be set up with a love interest in mind, but they.
Yeah, I believe it's also up to the listener because how you feel about each Gator is kind of, or Croc, what you make it. Because, like, you can see a lot of people are asking about Timmy's kind of status, and we all know are like, oh, I see where you're at. So with Marco, he doesn't have a canonical love interest for that reason, in case anyone did fancy a crocodile.
This is what I like doing, at least for my own stuff, where I keep that kind of, is there a romantic undertone thing? I mostly keep it out of the script because that way some people just develop that as headcanon, and that's awesome. And then a lot of people just want platonic stuff. Because at least in audio RPs, there's a lot of romantic stuff. So it's cool to have it kind of left ambiguous, where some of my own characters, people have developed a headcanon of like the speaker and the listener character are in a potential. They think of it as sort of like a relationship thing. I don't write it that way, but I like leaving it up to interpretation. Is pretty cool, I think.
Which
What's
makes
the
you
next
real
one?
quick, can you
even
look
more
at
perfect.
Can you look at the voice chat real quick?
Which one?
No, I'm asking Obi to look. You
Obi.
Oh, wait, the
Country boy.
the question about Elizabeth.
No, the voice call chat,
conspiratorial?
not the premiere chat.
In the voice call.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Oh, dears.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not sure what this was in regards to, but next question from Goops the Cat. What's the next party? That might be when's
What's
the
the next
episode?
part?
Oh, part. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, we answered that then.
Yeah.
What's a party? How did Marco meet the Gator?
What, like from
Yeah, how did they first meet? Like Marco and I guess Bodhi were the first ones.
Yeah.
I can't. Okay, so how Timmy? I can't say it.
Yeah, if it's like
If
stuff
it's too
that'll be
spoilery.
Mostly Marco. Everyone realizes that he is kind of on his own mission in life. He's kind of an independent character, so he's kind of looking for someone. And throughout his youth, he's needed kind of a base of operations, and Bodhi has always been a father figure to most that he comes across. And so that kind of, while Marco was traveling, developed into just being family, because there was no one else. Or at least nowhere safe.
Hmm. Next question from Goops. What's the Gator's personality types? Brackets 16 personality, if you know. So I think this is like we could do the personality type quiz things to get a bunch of letters.
INFJ, whatever.
I don't fully
have-
understand that, but is there like
I have no idea.
maybe is there like a summation thing the words, or should we just skim past? Is there a way to summarize?
I think
This is
that's
difficult.
too complex. That's a long questionnaire with a lot of different personality types,
Okay.
with a lot of summaries. So I'm afraid I don't have an answer.
I would just summarize as like Marco is the artsy one. Shrug.
Bodhi is the emotionally intelligent one.
There's another question that talks about stuff in the future. I might skim over, and they finish up with that's all. Lots of love, hearts. Aria 398 unfortunately asked a bunch of questions that were repeats, but they did also. Why did you give Tim white hair and scales? Is that kind of like a skim over as well?
A little, yeah, because
they did.
It's
They asked a bunch, and I wanted to at least
Yeah.
get the name in because they did ask.
No, yeah, a lot of people also in the chat are wondering why he has like a little tuft of like white hair and scales. That will be answered in future episodes. So I can't say just yet because it does have like a bit of a thing to it. And what's it called? There's also a question here that is kind of like on repeat, which I really don't mind. Is Elizabeth going to be making an appearance? It said Elizabeth Williams, but her name is Elizabeth Wheat. And sadly, she won't be making really an appearance. It was more like his backstory, so, but at least from like story-wise, I don't think she's going to be making an appearance. And if she does, well, that'd be pretty cool.
Question from Lily Walters' story. How often did Timmy go to the town, and how often did he pay for the dye he got? I remember one of the hunters mentioning they recognized him, and I was curious.
Well, he does go to the towns quite often. He mainly because he's still small. He's pretty sneaky. And he can just kind of like go in. Most of the time, he does try to leave money behind. On other occasions, he just kind of takes it if he sees that nobody's gonna notice. But because of how much stuff they sometimes kind of need, it's more often than most. So at least once a week, he goes over to the town and tries to sneak around and grab what they need.
I kind of like the idea there's probably sort of local mythos built up around this small gator figure that just sneaks around in the background occasionally.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if he goes at night. That way, like nobody really sees him.
I like the idea of Timmy becoming this local legend.
Yeah.
The reptilian ghost of Pillowy.
No one's ever seen it, but they've heard the clack of his claws.
Exactly.
Nah.
Nah.
The accent hit quite hard on that word. Again, apologies for this person's username not being preserved, but user -ZU4SR7DB8H asks, who would win, Tommy or Chuck E. Cheese? Have a nice day.
What?
Who would win, Tommy or Chuck E. Cheese? Have a nice day. Now, I'm not sure if Tommy instead of Timmy was my accidental mistyping when I was typing up the questions. I guess Timmy or Chuck E. Cheese.
Who's Chuck E. Cheese?
As
Is this an
I
American?
assume they mean
Is there
as
a
in,
mouse
as in the
half-blood?
franchise. And I think Timmy would kick Chucky's ass because he is swift and scrappy, and Chucky's been eating too much pizza.
Yeah. Have you seen the Blood Moon AU? Timmy would.
Right?
He kills 3 people.
Chuck E. Cheese go get turned into a pizza. Take his leftovers back to Bodhi, turn him into a gumbo.
There you go. That's where the
And that's where the sausage comes from.
Spoonie asked, was it M or Mage we could share fan art? I'm happy to be at it. I think M said she was happy to be at it.
Absolutely. Either or.
Yeah. If you at me, I'll pass it on. Queeg has asked again, what Vine do you think would correspond to each of the Gator Boys? Unfortunately, some repeat questions, so hopefully we answered that already for you earlier.
More or less, yeah.
Maya O'Connor starts with some ASCII art of a bear waving, which is really cute. Would we ever have a cooking with Bodhi? Just to know how he got the sausage for his gumbo.
I saw Dave through the chat earlier as well. I would not be opposed to it. Maybe I'll do that as a filler episode at some point. I like that idea.
That'd be cute.
What if it sounded like he was talking to like a podcast? Like it wasn't just a bug, it was like him trying to start up a channel.
So we make it a non-canon episode?
Yes!
Okay. I'm
Like
not
first
opposed.
oh dear.
Oh, now you
Question
put that knife
from-
down. You ain't holding that right. Hold on. Here, let me do that for you.
Question from Alex Ray. Which character had the most significant change when being elaborated into the Gator series and why?
Ooh.
Change?
I don't know that anyone's really changed from their original setup. I mean, we had to do some discussion about Marco's storyline, but none of that changed his character. Since the Gators were all created approximately around the same time, it's been pretty easy to work them into each other's story and develop their characters at the same time. So...
unfortunately, this is all future stuff. Strawbuxy Zoxomiros. Is the ending going to be bittersweet? How many episodes are left? I kind of this is kind of in the same boat as, is everyone going to die at the end?
Yeah, a little bit spoilers.
You'll find out.
And in all
course,
honesty,
yeah.
like we did have a plan for like a set amount of episodes, but that also like even before adding Marco, like it was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like, you know, like it's 5-6 episodes. Nah. It's like, okay, so it's gonna be like
We're at
this
9.
much. It's like, nah. So it's we don't even really know.
We have an ending in mind, but the story is constantly evolving, and more scenes need to be added. Therefore, more episodes need to be
This
added.
is the
So we
swamp
don't
that
know how many
never
episodes.
That's not gonna
We've
go
even
on
talked
forever,
about
but-
season 2 on and off, so who knows what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
And kind of with Marco being slightly separated, there's at least the. It'd be cool if the characters had their own sort of spin-off stuff if it needs to be a thing down the line. But there's a lot that could be done. I like these characters. Someone just asked, I missed.
For the questions about Bug.
Oh, you go on for Bug?
Well, there's a bunch of questions about Bug specifically, and I kind of just want to address anything about them that's you. So you can technically make your own motive.
Yeah, that's the thing I love about audio RP. A lot of creators will make the listener character so vague that you can write your own story. That's the fun of audio RP.
Yeah, I mean, we get
Franbo,
like a base context of just kind of like the situation, but the rest is up to you.
Franbo asked, did any of the characters have any beta designs?
Bodhi's design has changed ever so slightly, just like in the way the scales are set up, but I wouldn't say it's a beta design. I've just altered the way
I was about to
scales.
say, I'm like, my
No, wait.
sketch is still there, but Obi's the one who completed him.
Because you
Obi-
didn't want to finish him, and we were all telling you to finish him, but you didn't want to.
I didn't want to step in. Y'all had such a great story going.
And he still ain't finished because he never drawn his legs, so I got to
My
have his
leg.
legs.
My leg. Don't let Kyle eat my leg.
Legs.
Fucking speak of the devil.
Oh no, wait a minute. Em, during the beginning while you were sketching out Bodhi, I think you were deciding whether or not to give him long hair.
Yes, I don't have a long hair version of him though.
I do have the inspiration picture of another Gator Boy
Oh.
for that hairstyle. Do you remember that one? There was like a centaur-esque gator.
Oh yeah, we were looking up inspiration.
God, I
for
love
how
that
to
art.
make a humanoid gator character. Yeah, and
People,
I
please
wish I
make fan
remembered
art.
the
I
name of the
love
artist.
Gator Half-Bloods so much.
Oh my god, I just realized how far through the list we are.
We could have had long hair Bodhi.
Well,
the list keeps getting
Come braid
longer because I
Marco's
keep
hair.
throwing
Make a
in
braid
questions to
train.
try not to miss them.
All right,
yeah.
I'm going to try. I'm going to have to skip over some, so apologies to if people I don't shout out the names. But yeah, I'll try to skip through to the ones that might be the most interesting from now on, if that's all right. Bobby Grace says, "I love the visual, made me laugh." So that's the Sailor Moon art that you did.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the importance of Marco? Is he just a character that will appear in episodes from time to time to help out the listener? I guess asking is this kind of like a setup stuff? I guess this is sort of a bit talk about the future again, but
Marco
the-
is important.
Yeah.
he's
I would
been
like for
mentioned
him
since
to
the
branch
very
out, yeah.
start. Yeah.
Like right now in the beginning, like he kind of looks like just a character we dragged in, but like in all honesty, like as we start continue building him on, he does actually help build what's going to happen in the future, because there are things that are going to happen later on, and him traveling around the world, it kind of helps to have kind of like an outside man, because Timmy has gone no farther than towards the mountains in, I think it was the east, and the towns nearby. That's pretty much it.
They did rock those outfits. Bobby Grace also asked if Michael will get a backstory, and that's the kind of thing like he does already have like a whole bunch of stuff for this character already that'll be really fun to explore down the line.
Oh no, yeah, don't worry. He's gonna get he's gonna get a thing. Yeah, I don't know where the sentence was gonna go.
Real quick, Lin Fam, are we gonna get more angst moments? Just you fucking wait. Anyway, moving on.
Don't make me laugh, it hurts.
Oh no.
Sorry.
I love you.
I know there was a couple of questions that were passed by that I can answer at least real quick. Something about it was if the bug has any relations to the hunters, more or less. Not like exactly family, but like just close friends, other hunters that are helping Bug out, I guess. So that's kind of that, more or less. But again, it's kind of up to you to kind of come up like what your relation is with the hunters. You were originally friends, but
If
and then
nothing else, we're colleagues.
yeah. And there was one about clothing designs. I think that was I mean,
What's that one?
maybe there might be a bit of a change, but I guess for now they're kind of like a little bit limited to their clothing. Probably in the future they might like change up a little bit, but they're kind of set on what they look like.
Carl Love Knight asks, "Is Maria a crow or a vulture?"
Oh,
might be referencing Blood Moon because of how Maria was in that. Yeah, Maria is a crow.
she's gonna drop so many rocks.
Well, she's
So
a
many
raven
rocks.
specifically, right? Not
Yes.
a crow, a raven. They're
Oh,
different.
sorry, Raven. Excuse me. Yeah,
Yes, she is a common
false
raven.
dichotomy. The Quiet Kid. All right, my question: can Timmy please give me a hug?
Oh,
Of course, Timmy can give you a hug. He's gonna be a little bit pointy though, so I do apologize.
Spiky.
Spacky,
No, get
scales,
out of
you know,
here.
I'm still
Eternal,
young. They're still
who's-
kind of rounding out, you know.
Who's your favorite hunter and why is it a tonal?
I answered it in chat because Atone is an amazing VA and you all should follow him.
Yes, absolutely. Red I read. Does the listener have a backstory? Do we make it up? Basically, make it up. Basically, this is your listener character. This is how you interpret your own character being. If the Gator Boys could have jobs, what would they be?
Bodhi would be a chef. He'd be working at the little dive sandwich or soup and sandwich place, feeding as many people as possible.
I feel like Timmy would probably be kind of like an errand boy type of thing. Like he'd work for somebody and just kind of be like sending off like oh, just send this to so and so over there in said house, and he'd probably be doing that since he's still kind of young.
And an interesting question that a few people have asked: do the characters have specific sexualities? So I guess it's usually left up to interpretation when there's like a generic listener character, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's kind of like up to you guys. In all honesty, like we want to keep it kind of gender neutral so that like anybody can kind of like put themselves in the situation. So it would kind of be a similar situation with the Gator Boys. Like it's not really like a side that they prefer. It's just
Gator sexual.
I'm gonna have to skip over a few people that ask questions. Some are repeats, and some are also like. I'm just trying to focus on the questions because we have been going for
Almost 2
maybe
hours.
2 hours. My
yeah,
gosh.
almost 2 hours. Actually, yeah, almost 2 hours. An hour
So I'll have to
51.
I'll have to skip Hannah Miller's questions, but Hannah Miller also says, "Can't wait for the Q&A," and they make adorable Sailor Scouts. That one fangirl, I just want to know more about the characters, their favorite food, color, their age, their birthday, etc.
We've addressed most of those. As far as birthdays, I don't think any of us have set a specific date. But I would say Bodhi's probably a June baby.
Timmy
I would
has
like to
no
say-
idea.
Aw. Poor Timmy.
Mackenzie also says, "Oh my stars, they're adorable." So that's the Sailor Moon stuff. That art was so cool.
Oh my Sailor Stars.
Wiccophobia, what character did you have the most trouble with creating and why?
Did we answer this one?
What was the question?
Of a slightly different angle. It was which character did you have the most trouble with creating? So it's like the character overall.
The most trouble I would say was Marco, but that's because Day was busy hiding information from us at the time. Now that we've got more information, it's a lot easier. I feel like all the boys are pretty easy to write.
Yeah, actually, I did have a bit of trouble writing Warren when we were putting him in. Because I didn't know exactly, because I needed a backstory, but I couldn't come up with anything like on the spot, which was like, I had a bit of writer's block with him.
It sounded like you said, because of the accent, it sounded like you said radish block.
Radish block?
Radish. Radish.
Any shenanigans you can see the Gator Boys and Bug getting into?
Aw.
I'm probably trying to sneak into the town and grab something they need, but they end up getting caught and like chased by the townspeople with pitchforks and fire sticks, and I don't even know. Fire sticks. Torches.
I think the accent's addling you at this point.
It is diminishing my English capabilities.
Oh no.
It is kind of hilarious, actually.
What was your inspiration for each character's traits in the Blood Moon AU? It's kind of like an inversion of what they're most known for. So like with Bodhi being the caring person that he is.
Yeah, it wasn't an inversion
Becoming
for me,
younger.
it was an amplification. What is most important to Bodhi? What's important to him is family. he misses them. He wants another family so bad. So we cranked that up to 11 and tore off the knob.
Yeah, I know with Timmy it was the concept of revenge, of like everything that happened to him. He's been kind of like, I understand that like it's not fair for half bloods, but in this case it's more like, instead of being as forgiven, it's more like he wants revenge for like everything that happened to him in the past. And even now, like after he finally found more or less a family, it's still happening. So he's like, you know what, screw it. And that's why he went feral and started killing everyone.
Whereas Marco was kind of amplifying the artist in him, I guess. And that was just
Yes.
people's reactions to Marco were interesting.
Marco's part, like you did him so well. I'm so sorry. Like holy shit. Like, excuse my French, but
We had
Goddamn.
written down a vague idea for what we thought Marco would do, and then Day came in and made it worse, and it was amazing.
it was great.
It was amazing when we go through that.
It was great.
And Wikiphobia's final question was, did the listener die in the WNAU, or are they still alive? Now, it's kind of left up to interpretation. It's kind of vague at this point.
Like we don't even know. We're just like, is he alive? It's like, I don't know.
Did you survive? How do you feel?
Would
Do you want to leave?
Your creepy gacha asks, on Ye, do you guys plan on adding any new characters to the series? And are there also bonus stuff as well?
Always
so I guess,
has the potential.
I guess it's like side characters. There's always going to need to be more side characters, but with Bodhi, Timmy, and I guess partially at this point Marco being the primary cast, do you see like additional primary casts being added?
Well, I mean,
I worry that that's getting spoilery.
yeah. Like, I want to say yes, but at the same time, no, because we don't know how far it's gonna go. I'll say that. So it's
Is
like-
Bug a bad person who is basically using the boys?
Are you using the boys?
And do you plan on making Bug one of the boys? By the way, you all look sparkle, girly pop sparkle. Because of the this was again the
Sailor Moon image.
Sailor
Yeah.
Moon.
Yeah.
They're not really a gator, so
Yeah, it's
there's a slight separation, I guess, between the speakers, the main cast speakers, and Bug as the listener.
as far as the third question, like that again is kind of up to you. I like to think of these characters as kind of a visual novel. What path are you taking?
Prawn Maxan Prawn video request brackets you don't have to, you don't want to. The Gator Boys celebrate listeners' birthday as a sort of 3.95,
Oh,
or the day they rescued Timmy from the hunters. Thought it'd be a cute idea. Hope you're doing well, and remember to stay hydrated.
Oh, I am drinking so much water right now, you guys. I'm probably going to regret this shortly.
Suki, welcome.
Suki made it.
I just wanted to bring this up because of the which is cramming more episodes between the April Fools and episode 4.
Yeah, I love that the incremental episodes are becoming a meme amongst the Gator Boys now.
Birthday one will be fun though. Avocado asks, if it was a series, would you want it to be animated or realistic? I guess live action.
Animated.
That would think would make the most sense.
Yeah. There are things you can do in animation that people just can't do. So, animation.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'd
Gold
be,
Cherry. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay. Gold Cherry asks, do the Gator Boys have to pay taxes?
Oh, okay. This when I saw that question, it had me giggling because like part of me wants to
We
say
like this
yes
one.
because that's it's like, yeah, that's the reason why the hunters are after them, because they refuse to pay their taxes.
Yeah,
No,
Bodhi, nobody ever taught Bodhi how to pay taxes,
Right,
so he's
that
got a
was
lot of back taxes to pay.
why they're after AU, Mitch.
Yep.
You never paid for your coffee and cake.
Ain't no one running from the IRS.
Ain't no one who runs from the IRS.
Obi, are you drinking?
No.
Kaba is the only
we
one
joked
consuming
about
pizza
trying
right
to
now.
rig it so that Day's head would pop out of Obi's mug. We just couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, that was going to be a
Yeah.
little bit complicated, but it would have been damn
That'd be so
hilarious
much
if we can make that happen.
Yo,
The
the Gator
expression on
committing
Obi's face just
felony
gets
tax
absurd.
evasion. Bodhi can't understand all the big words on the tax documents.
Oh God.
The hunters
I
come
don't
up
even
onto
understand
Bodhi's
it.
porch. We'd like to talk about your car's extended warranty. What's a car?
Yeah, your wagon's extended warranty.
Oh my god.
Finn's Multiverse. Would you ever animate Gator Boys into a YouTube series? And I guess, like,
That would be
How
all
much-
Obi if that happens.
how much effort goes into animation?
Like that's a lot of like I always imagine like animated Gator Boys, but at the same time I have animated. I'm in school for animation, and holy mother of God, that takes a long ass time.
Who has
Um,
the patience for scale
Like
after scale?
if I was to properly animate Gator Boys, I would need a team. Like hell no way am I doing that alone. Hell no. Like for the drawing specifically, like obviously voice actors, everybody included, like is part of the group, but like you need a team if you're going to be animating something and like well animated, and it won't take like 2 years to animate for like 30 seconds. You don't want that.
There are one or two other questions that we had from before, but I feel like it's okay to kind of skim over those. And should we move on to the ones you've been writing down? Em?
Sure.
Sutbird, how did you come up with Bug's Dream in that 1/2 episode?
Obi, do you want to tell the story or can I?
I think you probably have a better memory of like how that came to be, because I know it was during April Fools.
Yes, no, it was the night before April Fools, and we're sitting here talking about like, oh my god, April Fools, I hope somebody does this, I hope somebody does this. I'm like, wait a minute, what if we did a Gator Boys one? Oh my god, what if it was this? But how do we make it canonical? And we just like we were both so tired already from the day, just the day's activities,
Yeah.
that we sat down, we jumped into a private call, and frantically we're starting to write the craziest stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you have Obi to thank for the exploding seahorse. That was all him.
Yeah. I was working off like maybe 2 brain cells, and I'm just like, this would be hilarious if it was some random reason like he's fishing for a seahorse, and it actually happens to be a horse that's just living in the swamp with like laser eyes. Just
Yeah.
like,
There is no rhyme or
Could've
reason
called
to
that a
why that
Kelpie.
episode happened. It happened. You're
all
welcome.
because I wanted an explosion.
Yeah. Willow asks, do you all know each other IRL? No. Ish. Like not IRL outside of the internet, but I'm all the way over here.
3 of us have met each other before.
Yeah.
Mage
Mage is the
will
last
be-
to go.
we'll be crossing him off the list soon.
That sounds
Yeah.
ominous.
It should.
It's
On
so
Maria's hit list.
Get the rope.
Yeah, like, in a way, yeah, we do know each other, but but all of us live in
Like-
completely different places.
in as much as we all met online rather than knowing each other IRL first.
Yeah.
Again, thank
these-
you to Siren Sun for bringing this menagerie together.
Hell
Yeah, these 3 met in Siren Sun's server, I think. Am I right in saying that? And then I met all of you when... Which
We
one of
won
you
yours.
dragged the
invaded-
rest into my server?
That was me. I joined your server first. I dragged Day in. I think we then dragged Obi in, and then we claimed you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I gave him an out.
You gave me plenty of outside no.
Glenn for punch.
Not taking them. This is a question from Eternal. Hi, Eternal. Would Mitch survive in the swamps in that universe? The problem
Depends
is
on if you
more.
met Odie first or not.
Yeah, Bodhi would take him in. Like, you're adorable, Ace. But yeah, he's lived on his own. Mitch, by the way, is my raccoon character I'm talking as here. He's always survived on his own, basically. He's never had like a family or a home or anything, but he's primarily lived in cities. not really in the wild. So I don't know that's not really his forte. He can't like stuck out in the swamp. He can't do what he normally does and go scrumping for cars. So yeah, he'd be in trouble in the swamp unless he met one of the gators, and then it depends on how they'd react. Doot. Just go through the. So these are new questions I haven't seen. So give me a. Do you vamp for a second? Hang on, I need to read through. What happens? So Mackenzie Scherzer, what happens when the full moon comes for the Gator Boys? I remember hearing they act off when it comes to that, but still curious how they act. This is kind of more so a Half-Blood thing from Siren's universe, right?
And we did address this question earlier, so if you missed the question, just watch the VOD, it will be up.
Jody asks, what's your guys' favorite color? Blue?
Like us as people?
Just us as people.
Oh.
Bet you can't guess mine.
Is it brown?
Swear.
It's got to be brown. I'm so close.
Oh wait.
Mine is kind of sunset orange.
Wait,
I love
my
oranges.
apologies. Can you answer the question again?
What's your favorite color, bitch?
My favorite color is purple.
Luna Skywolf, what's the favorite colors of the Gator Boys? I don't know if we did.
We answered it,
This one.
Okay. Cat with a gun. How far are the Gator Boys away from society? There's a nearby town that Timmy gets to, but like how long does it take to get there? I guess.
Maybe half a day tops. It's right on the edge of the swamp they live in.
Yeah, it's not too far. I mean, mainly because like there's a lot of water that you have to like tread through. Like that's why it takes a little bit longer than it should.
There's a full day in the cup. Bug the Nintendo Duck. What is the inspo for the latest episode? Cause like dang, and I'm not sure what that means. Episode 5 or Blood Moon.
Well, probably Blood Moon.
I mean, well, Blood Moon was inspired by, ironically, the Blood Moon that was going to be that did occur, and also in Siren's universe. Well, not officially, but it's kind of like an AU. Everybody kind of mentions like a Blood Moon version because of the.
Yeah, because there's the Moon Goddess essentially, and people have headcanoned. What if she was not a kind, forgiving figure like she is currently? What she has been chained to the moon essentially by one of the other gods of his universe. So the idea is that she wants revenge for being chained to the moon, and it has universe-wide effects and makes everybody the worst versions of themselves. It is evil AU.
Yeah. So with that concept, plus an actual blood moon occurring here, it's just like, what if we just make it a reality?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Empanada del Mal XD ASMR. I've always wondered this. How strong are Gator Boys? And how big are they? I think we answered how big they were. Bodhi is obviously very strong, but I'd be intrigued as like how strong Marco and Timmy would be compared to your average human. Greetings from Argentina, and I think that's apologies if translation is bad. It seems to be translated fine, no worries.
Yeah, I know for a fact that Bodhi's gonna be the strongest.
Bodhi's a tank.
Can Timmy lift Bug?
Yes, they're at least that strong. They're pretty strong. They're just a little bit smaller, so they're kind of limited to how much strength. But he is pretty strong.
I'm gonna step away from the mic for a sec, guys. I'll be right back.
Duck.
I miss you.
Binary. I have a script series I'm working on. Do any of you guys have tips on writing? Or do I strive for the content? So mainly writing tips.
Do it after singing in the shower. Shower thoughts or before. Shower thoughts are probably the most inspirational things to happen to a person. Not gonna lie.
For the stuff that I write, generally I try to my focus is on writing stuff that feels like the kind of like a world that you could imagine yourself in. It's kind of like a solidifying those daydream thoughts that you have where you imagine like some fantasy world, like how you would react if you're in it. And the audio stories that I write, it's kind of stems from that. I want that experience, but put into an audio form so you can listen to it rather than having to focus on engaging your imagination. The audio is like a jump start for that experience. That's kind of what I want out of like story audios. So I mainly my writing tip would be to try, at least if that's the same goal that you're going for, try to keep in mind how you would react. So, like, imagine you're living in this world, what it feels like, and what every excruciating detail, what it feels like to be there in that moment.
Sorry.
How would you honestly act? And to try and make it feel realistic the way the character talks, because there's a very different tone, like speaking voice, between your writing voice and your verbal voice. I basically try to ad-lib line by line and then write down the way it comes out. I don't really consider myself a particularly adept writer. I'm not trained in writing or anything like that. I'm
That is
just
such a
dabbling and having
lie.
fun.
You're not
I'm
trained, but you're
dabbling and having
exceptional
fun.
at it.
No.
This is
Weren't
why
you
we
hired
brought you
to,
onto
like,
the
write
team. You're
stuff?
exceptional.
Mhm.
But don't you like rap for a living?
No, I might be hired as a writer.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just doing the best I can, and that's kind of what I try to keep in mind when I do my stuff.
No, it's good to stay humble. Don't get me wrong, but don't put
Moving
yourself all
on.
down there. Too bad, boy. You're good at what you do. I don't like myself.
Opie, did it sound like you had a response? Or?
Yeah, no. I'm an okay writer. Not the best.
I'll just give a few, I'm afraid. Divine asks, will our leg ever heal?
It's getting better. You're able
Cameron,
to
get
walk
out of
on
here. Yeah, it has been getting better over time, but it's like if you get your legs stuck in a bear trap, it's gonna take more than a week.
Remember,
Or so.
Bodhi didn't have any
Oh
moon bells
no,
to
we
fix you
have
up
to be
with.
carried by these beefy
Oh,
crocodilians
no.
and gators. Oh no.
Being picked up gently by this large green man.
Gotta be spoon fed gumbo.
So awful.
Does Bodhi like tea or coffee?
I feel like he probably struggles with coffee.
Dang it, Em.
What? It's not something that's easily accessible in the swamp. So the day Marco finally brings it and he tries it, but he's like, oh my god, why is this so bitter? And Marco's just sitting there sipping his coffee going, what are you talking about? Pour me another.
Campfire espresso, just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a bad idea
That
if
night,
you
Bodhi
feed
couldn't sleep.
if you feed Timmy coffee. That'd be a
Yo,
disaster.
Timmy doesn't even know the existence of coffee. All
No.
right.
Marco gave Timmy coffee once when he was like 12 and refuses to since.
Like, wait, have you seen those like little lizards that like run across water?
Yes, the
My
skimmers.
God.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Who needs a
Dave, can
boat
you
when you
do
have
that?
Timmy? Huh?
Hey, Dave, can you do that?
What?
Scamper across water.
Oh.
Luna Skywolf asks, how much do the boys weigh? So
Loves
if they laid
misdirection.
their head on Bug's lap, would it be heavy?
I don't know how much Bodhi weighs.
A lot, I assume.
A significant amount.
It's like like average weight.
You know,
I
that's-
think Timmy would probably be like 120.
You know that
150?
scene in Jurassic Park where they look at the glass of water?
Oh my god.
Yes. Oh my god, Blood Moon AU Part 2. Bug is sitting there, or a new character if Bug is dead, which I will not clarify which is which, sipping on some water, just boom, then we hear the water ripple.
Jalasu asks, do Gator Boys have some kind of dialect? And I guess is more so the accent they have. There isn't really like a Gator Boys, like a Gator language, if that's what the question's asking. But there's a reason why Marco sounds different. Well, there's an in-universe and an out-of-universe reason. But Marco had a different accent before I was involved, before I knew about the character.
He was gonna be Cajun, but then we found British.
And like, didn't
I
that like,
would-
kind of build like a bit of backstory for Marco?
It feeds into where he's from.
Mhm.
Like, Odie grew up in the swamp. That was the accent in the swamp.
And he was like a dad to Timmy, so that's where he's like, oh, country.
Yeah.
And Timmy, he also kind of grew up in a farm, so it was kind of like a little bit of like the typical like farmer
perfect.
southern accent. And then when he got to the swamp, it just kind of like enhanced. It was probably more mellow out when he was back at the farm, but growing up with Bodhi, it just kind of stuck.
I would love to do an episode where we just delay doing like a finale with like backstory episodes. Oh, I would love that.
I love that. The backstory is like reading through the documents for like the backstory. Just it's so cool to read. But yeah, there's a reason why Marco has a different accent, and when writing the second half of Marco's audio, we did try to like slip in some slight additional Cajun wording, but not have the accent. It's like to imply that he'd been living there for a while and just picked up a few phrases. Couch Cat asks, how'd Siren get pulled into this?
I asked him.
Literally, we needed a voice, and because
Yeah,
he's a
no,
country boy,
We had thought about who we wanted to voice each character, and I couldn't see anybody but Siren, so I hit him up with the business proposition, and he said yes. And he has graciously let us use his voice for Bodhi ever since.
Stockwell. Not gonna lie, I thought Marco was like some kind of Australian-inspired croc.
the theories continue.
Never gonna let you live this down, are we?
Yo, hey.
You okay, Day?
No.
Cute cup. Who came up with a Blood Moon episode?
I think
Yeah.
it was just kind of like a thought floating in the back of our heads.
I think I said Blood Moon AU out loud at some point, and everybody was like, yes.
Sometimes
went
an
from
idea
there.
comes along in a group call where we're just like, because we all seen the document of dumb ideas that we.
We need to
I
add
go
more
back
to
to that.
I need to go back check that because there's some great stuff in there. Moonbell Mage, question for all: do y'all ever get bored of being amazing?
It does
Oh.
get pretty tiring, not gonna lie. No, I'm kidding.
Shut up!
Oh yes, quite exhausting.
Uh,
Uno reverse card.
Not so fast, Kaiba. Six asks, do you think Maria would be suspicious of Bug since they're basically a stranger? And I don't understand the last bit. And they'll get together. I don't think Maria is going to date Bug, but I don't think that's what you meant to say. I'm not sure what you did mean.
What? No suspicion. To the first part of the question, I don't know what the other part was, but
I'm sorry if I misread that.
she would not be suspicious. No, she's relaxed if Marco's relaxed, and she's calm when he's calm.
Beanery, does Timmy like making craft?
Craft?
Is he a crafty little bugger? I'm assuming that's arts and crafts, not like
Oh,
vessels.
Maybe not too much. I mean, like he's more of someone who
A collector, not a maker, yeah?
more of a collector.
Big fiery Maria is out of our league. That's fair.
Goddamn right.
Vamp for a second while I'm reading. Aquarius Rosido. Any of you have a holiday special planned?
Oh,
That would be nice, but I don't think we have the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly. Yeah, this month happened to be a much more busier than we expected, in all honesty.
Yeah.
the most y'all would probably get is something in Mage's server where it's a little doodle. I don't think we have a video set up.
Especially when it's like a collab audio, a lot goes into it, and I found
Yeah.
as a script increases linearly, the effort required to make it increases exponentially.
Yeah, there are so many more people involved in this series than I ever foresaw happening, and I love it.
Yeah.
But,
The four of us here are this is just the writers. Jody asks, do you guys like listening to the rain?
Yes.
The rain is lovely. I come from the land of the rain.
I miss rain. I live in a desert currently, and it doesn't happen often. So you learn to appreciate it more. I actually wanted to live in Seattle for that reason, for the rain and cafes.
Ah, dang. Tsumimisen, what do the boys do for fun?
Sumimasen?
feed people. Bodhi feeds people.
Wait, what was the question?
What do the boys do for fun? And I think you're right, yeah.
No, I think Timmy just likes going on adventures.
He's an adventurous little scamp.
Depends where Marco is. His hobby is bothering Timmy. But when he's
is
not
that
there,
just really kind of like a hobby for him? Is it just something that he's just happy to do? It's not like hobby status, would you say?
he literally copes with having Timmy as a little brother by treating him like one. So eventually, that's what his affection turned into.
Team Madre, is that just your mum? If you met one of the Gator Boys, what would you say?
Can I have a second bowl, please? Please, sir, may I have some more?
I don't know what I would say.
Can I help you make this place an inn?
Wait. Say the question one more time.
If you met one of the Gator Boys, what would you say?
Don't eat me.
I'm an introvert, so surprise answer, I wouldn't say anything.
Made you would just sit there and stare and just kind of like look at your feet, like you talk first.
Yeah, I wouldn't stare. That invites conversation. I would hide.
Oh.
Not because they're gators, but because they're people.
All right, treat everyone equally. It's a good night.
On to the next one. Mackenzie Scherzer, out of all the boys, who would win an arm wrestling game? I think, yeah. Jocoso, question: is Timmy the stealth, Bodhi the tank, and Marco the mage? The last one's certainly true.
Marco is definitely mage.
It kind of makes sense, yeah. I think Timmy would probably bring Rogue.
I don't know, because like with your crystal obsession, you might be mage as well.
I mean, because he's like
Waving around a staff, going insane.
The only thing he has is a book about philosophy. But correction,
I
not that
see him like
philosophy.
Timmy accidentally becomes a wizard.
The book isn't a
reads the
philosophy
book.
book. It's actually one of the...
Royalty does point out, I feel like Bodhi would lose an arm wrestling match on purpose. I like
You're
that.
right. You're right. It depends upon how he's reading his opponent. If his opponent is like, this is going to destroy my ego, I'm going to go home and cry after this, he would absolutely throw the match.
Oh.
And then celebrate their win by force feeding them gumbo.
Happy face, put that in. I fucking love it.
Back to the character class, though. Bodhi, in my D&D game, is a barbarian.
But which is
Vicarian
absolutely
Shepherd.
hilarious.
Our very first question we answered was yours, Vicarian Shepherd, by the way. Nightshade asks, what do the boys all do for the winter when it gets cold? And I would add on, does it get that cold in Silverben?
Yeah, a little
That's a good
bit.
question.
Like it gets like frosty, but it's not like would the water get like just turned to ice?
I don't think it ever gets cold enough for ice. Like, it's a swamp. It's by its very nature warm and humid.
Yeah, so they get kind of like a cold front, but like it's not like it's like snows.
Yeah, it doesn't get below freezing.
Katie Stone, okay, this is slightly different for future stuff. Needing no detail, but do you guys have a plan for the end or something in mind for the ending, or is it just as you go along? So they're not asking for details, just like, was this all planned out from the start?
Yes. I struggle to write things without an end in mind.
No, yeah,
So-
like there's I know for a fact that we have like the ending bullet pointed because
Yes.
it does have to adjust as we continue writing the different chapters because there's always something that's going to change, but there is an ending. It's just how it's going to end. In all honesty, we don't even have a clear image of how this is going to
That's
happen.
an ever-changing thing, how to get it, but there is an end.
Yeah. Happy Face asks question for all, who would win an arm wrestle? And I think you're asking
yeah.
not the characters, but us.
Oh God.
I lose.
I would say Day.
Probably Day.
Yeah. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm a stick.
Day, I know what we're doing when we
Biggest
meet up
grin on my
again.
face right now.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
I don't want to say it, but I don't think anyone could take me.
I 100% agree with you.
What
I mean, I've not met. I'm just going from Day's general energy. You're gonna fucking win.
If nothing else, she's gonna psych the rest of us out.
Absolutely.
It's mental warfare when you prep.
Rito Argentino, I love how your lizard comes out from the cup every time.
Thank you.
It's
It
brilliant.
wasn't my idea, but it is my heart. I forgot. Was that M? Or Opie?
I put you in the cup, yes.
You put me in the cup. Who said I should be in a cup?
Mage, I believe.
Oh,
Was it me?
Think
Also?
so.
I think it was here.
why are you sorry? It's brilliant. Genius.
Is it an accurate size for the character?
Yeah.
Alex Ray, between all the Gator Boys, who's the most known for being a good swimmer?
Probably Timmy.
Yeah, like,
Maybe.
I mean, if we
Bodhi's-
can run on
Bodhi's
water,
A good swimmer,
Jesus.
but Timmy can definitely do more in the water. He's got more space to work with, and he's just more agile in general.
Yeah, I know there was something mentioning that Timmy's just a little bit more flexible, but I think that's just because he's younger.
Hmm.
Bodhi ain't no spring chicken no more.
Bodhi would win a cannonball contest.
Yes. He would
Kim-
love to participate in one.
Kim Guerra, apologies for mispronouncing that. Question there. How would each of the boys be if Bugs suddenly hugged them? That's
Bodhi would like grab them, bear hug, lift them up, and kind of swing them around.
Oh,
It's like he prepared all his life for that hug.
Exactly.
yeah.
I think with Timmy it'd be more like it's like all right, okay, I guess we're hugging.
Oh.
Happy Face with a slightly different one. How would the Gator Boys react if Bugs started crying?
Timmy would be like, "It wasn't my fault, I swear."
Bodhi would be getting the blankets and the comfort food and offering to tell
my
stories, anything he can to comfort them.
That is such a signature move. I didn't do it.
I don't know if I'm relating to Marco too hard, but like, would he know what to do?
He'd probably be awkwardly like at a distance, like patting their head. It's just like, it's okay.
I forget
There,
what show it's
there.
from. Yeah, exactly. That one scene from I forget the TV show, but you have the one character going, they're there, and then patting the other character with a broom from a distance. They're there. That's how I picture Marco doing that. I want to address a question or just a comment in chat really quick. Scooter, my icon Day had brought up the idea of memeing, and you know the Misery CPR Reese's Puffs thing? She suggested that, and I'm like, I'm in. So I'm doing the Misery part.
But
and
then no one else was.
Nobody else went on it. So I'm just awkwardly singing here in Misery. Anyways, moving on.
It's the end of
Literally.
Misery.
30 Rock, thank you, Kathy Jones. Yes, that was the show.
I didn't join in the meme because I have no artistic talent. So
Shut up! Everyone, go to my Twitter right now.
no.
Look at the icon, handcrafted by
Moving
Mage Bumpshelf.
Moving on. Lucky Wolf. Question for Obi. What made you want to choose that accent for Timothy?
Oh, because it was the one I knew
Answer
how to
that
do.
question in the accent.
In all honesty, it's just the one that I knew how to do. And since we were thinking of having kind of like a Cajun, somewhat southern accent, I'm just like, let me just try my best at this and hope to God I don't offend anybody. But yeah, it just happened to be the one that came on natural.
Belladonna has an interesting question. How does Bodhi respond to being comforted?
Cries. She cries.
Oh.
Why does that make me happy?
What is wrong? I should be the one who. Actually, no, I'd probably also be on your side. I collect them tears.
Bodhi has spent so much time on his own, not having comfort, and he's so used to comforting people at this point, be it Margot, be it Timmy, be it Bug now, that he would just cry with happiness for the reciprocation.
I don't much like, what are you doing? No, this is my job. This isn't how it works.
Exactly.
Shush. You're being comforted now.
No reverse cards on the spot.
Basically, yeah.
Pivots like, no, you.
Jacoso, does Maria like to gossip to Marco?
Huh?
It's a tricky one because again, Maria isn't really like a super intelligent creature. They're still just a regular raven. They're just trained.
I mean, I'm sure she caws at him, and he just kind of nods his head and pats her, but like that's about it.
I imagined like she'd still give calls that are explaining stuff that's going on, but I guess that doesn't quite count in a gossip kind of way. It's more like
She
it
most
giving
certainly yells
information
at
kind of
him.
way.
Absolutely.
Like there may
Marco
not
can
be
tell the
human words,
difference.
but he knows when she's scolding the crap out of him.
Alex Ray, question for the Gator Boys. How do they view humans, friend or foe? I can see them being cautious around any sort of human they encounter.
Yeah, they're extra cautious around humans. They try their best to be like, maybe they could be a good person, but most of the time, well, you can kind of figure.
Bodhi raised a good couple of boys.
Bodhi
Yeah,
doesn't...
Jacoso, these are the old questions that Em's been writing down during the
and
call
I
to
have
get back to you.
stopped taking questions, so we do have to stop at some point.
We
at
do.
2.5 hours, so
We're
gonna
nearly
finish
at the
up
end now.
this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, Bodhi doesn't see humans as evil, but he does treat them with caution, which is why he tries to scare them out of the swamp. He's not willing to risk his family, but it's also safest for them if they stay out for that reason.
Suki, get out of here with that. What would happen if the Gator Boys met Mr. Blobby?
I have a picture
And
of
that
that.
boy will
banned
run.
from the chat.
Run. That boy will be running for his. No, hell no!
For those of you who don't know who Mr. Blobby is, good.
Don't Google it.
Luna Skywolf. How would the Gator Boys react if Bug made them hats or sweaters? Oh,
Bodhi would wear it every single day.
he would. I think they all would. That's really cute.
Yeah. Well, it depends, because if it was like a sweater, he'd probably wear it during like the colder months, and then if it was a hat, like he'd probably wear that like all the time.
Yeah, Bodhi would sweat. He wouldn't care. This would be his pride and joy.
Day, if Marco got a sweater, would he wear his poncho over the top?
Oh my god. I would like to say that he would frame it because he would think of it as art, and he would never want to get it dirty, ever.
Oh,
And he would prop it up somewhere to make sure that it stayed pristine.
I love that.
Which is what I do with M socks.
You, never mind.
8-bit orange question. Would that singing crystal be used like a microphone? Because that's a funny thing.
I love the idea.
I mean, it could, because the rock is kind of like a concept that's still in development. In all honesty, it popped up because I thought it'd be pretty cool to have like a crystal that actually has some type of special ability, but like it's not something that I guess I can say just yet because it's still under development. Um, like world lore wise, but kind of yeah.
And yeah, to everyone who Googled Mr. Blobby, we told you not to. Void Nix Nova. Do the gators love cuddle piles?
Bodhi does.
Yeah, Tim
Marco
does
hates
too.
it.
I imagine Marco wouldn't, yeah.
He would not be about that.
He get dragged in anyways.
Oh, jeez.
Like a
Lucky
cat to a
Wolf wonders.
bathtub.
Yep.
Pulls the same expression. Why would you do this to me? Are the Gator Boys the last of their kind?
No.
Nah,
Who knows?
there's others out there.
Band's waifu wants to know if there will be an Obi. An Obi? There is an Obi here. If there will be an episode with Siren Sun where we run into Thresh from the Siren series.
So Thresh is from a totally different universe within Siren's canon. He's from the world of Grestenfell. The Gator Boys are in Altera, so there is no possibility of that happening
Yeah.
canonically.
And with a bit of background, Grestenfell is more of like D&D universe. Meanwhile, Altera is like his baby.
Exactly.
A couple of repeat questions from Seal Girl, but two extra ones. Do the Gator Boys like lying in the sun? Or do they enjoy drifting on the water when they swim sometimes? That's a nice mood for both.
Bodhi definitely does to both.
I think Timmy's more of like a sunbather.
I imagine Marco would enjoy both as well.
He's
I mean,
a
it's
shade
quite-
kind of guy. He's like,
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
can't draw it. It's not working.
Okay, so not really one for swimming?
He's definitely like, he shows like, he's like, if I'm spending time with you, but just by, association of being in proximity of you, that's how our day's gonna go. I'm not gonna he's not gonna go in.
Couch Cat says now I'm imagining a long cat Marco being held up by Bodhi.
Oh my god, I need
Oh
to
my
update the Sebastian
gosh.
fan art I did for you, Obi, with Marco now.
Yes.
Remind me to do
God
that.
about that.
Kabu, are you telling me that you want new sound effects? We can get you new sound effects. Don't worry. Just don't eat these ones.
I don't know if he'll get new boots. Maybe he'll get new boots.
Let him get new boots.
Fine, I get new boots. God
Looking
damn.
at her boots.
Depends on how well Timmy does in the arena, if you get what I'm saying.
Jade Arts 2005 asks, in your opinion, what dog breeds match the personality of each of the Gator Boys?
Oh damn, that's a tough one. 'Cause I don't know too many breeds.
Lab for Bodhi, right?
No, I would say Pitbull, actually, because Pitties are actually, they were raised as kind
Oh
of
my
nursing
God.
dogs.
Brutishly loving.
Yeah.
I love pitties.
Marco,
had
I suppose
one.
the first one that came to mind would be an Australian Shepherd.
I actually thought collie. That's funny you said that.
Yeah, I guess that's similar. I just kind of pictured, like, my first thought was actually collie, but I thought collies are maybe a bit excitable.
You
And
know,
I
he's-
was say herd dog. That'd be Timmy.
Yeah.
no, you know what Timmy is?
Ding 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 ding.
Timmy is a little Bichon.
Bichon Frise.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Why?
They're very sweet, but they're also they're tiny little rat dogs. I love them. I've had 2 in my lifetime. They're amazing dogs, but they're tiny little assholes sometimes too.
So cool. Australian, I knew it.
Yeah.
Moonbell Mage, what are your favorite gemstones?
Timmy was
Obsidian
a
Lantern?
husky.
What's your favorite?
God, that's actually a pretty difficult question, honestly, because like each one has its own property, and which one is my favorite?
I like amethysts because purple.
I'm
I
a
like
Command and
opals.
Conquer nerd, so Tiberium Reparius.
I have been staring at a set of dice that are cat's eye,
Ooh.
and I love the look and how deep and bright the colors can get for cat's eyes. So that's kind of my favorite.
I'm a sucker for opals. The different varieties.
Really?
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
They're
Uh,
I never took you for like a pearlescent kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, it depends because some of them are just like this shiny little pearly, but like there's one that's called I know it's kind of edgy, but it is what it is. I didn't name it. Called Dragon Opal or Dragon's Breath,
Okay, but I love that. Why are you saying that's
and
cheesy?
that and Cloud Opal because it literally looks like you have a cloud inside a stone just encapsulated.
Ooh,
Okay, you all need to look up the Dragon's Breath opal right
I
now.
just did. It looks like the Eye of Sauron, but
There
purple.
you go.
Okay, I have a new favorite stone.
And the rock that Timmy has is a derivative of opal, kind of. Oh goddamn, what's the name?
How is it glowing like that?
When light refracts through it, it kind of just does its thing.
Wow.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah, the moment that thing like hits sunlight, like that's when you see everything inside of it, and it is just
Wow.
absolutely gorgeous.
I never even knew this existed. Thank you. If only it was green and orange.
8-bit Orange, does Bug have any relations to any of the hunters? Family, friends, maybe an old romantic relationship? So outside of just being of the hunters themselves, is it like, do they have a more personal tie to any of the hunters?
That's completely up to you guys.
Yeah, like the basis of it is just again like they know each other because they live in the same perimeter. They hunt
That would
together.
be an interesting idea, though.
Fu Gisku asks, can I use the boys in my comic? I guess it depends on what kind of comic it is.
I'm okay with fan works, like credit the original creators, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm cool
why
with it.
Okay, we've got these last two. Do you want to wrap up soon? Because bloody hell, we're going for almost 3 hours.
So
not?
last two
Poor-
questions, and then
poor
we'll
It's been
day.
fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun, but poor day.
All good. All good.
You doing all right?
No, but I'm good. I'm good.
Oh. 8-bit Orange also asks, do you think that Bug and Timmy ran into each other in town once and didn't notice? Also, if you put two singing crystals together, will they create microphone feedback?
Cool.
God, I hope not.
Well, I wouldn't know exactly if Bug would have met or run into Timmy like and not noticed. Probably, like I wouldn't be surprised
Well,
for how
here's the
often he goes
thing.
there. But
Timmy goes up into Billowy, which is
Oh, no,
not as
wait,
far
that's
north
right.
as Con.
because yeah, that's right. 'cause
Bug is
Bug's
from a con,
yeah.
so
So I doubt it now. This probably like a first time for Bug. They might have like heard the rumors, but this would have been the first time they met Timmy. Yeah. Yeah. And as for the crystals, design wise, they wouldn't like end up with like microphone feedback. Instead, they kind of echo off each other, and it would just be a louder sound. So kind of yeah.
I think this looks like the best question to end on. From Emmy, how does it feel creating something that has so much love behind it and support?
Terrifying.
Yeah, I can agree with Day. We did not expect this to be.
I have collabed with people before on other projects. This has been amazing. You guys are such talented, thoughtful creators. It inspires me to do better, and the reception the series has gotten from all of you guys has been amazing. I'm so happy you all love it. I really am.
I could say
I
the
feel
same.
I'm humbled.
I feel like I'm slightly on the outside because I was brought in a lot later, so I don't think of Gator Boys as something that's like to do with me. This is why I've been question wrangler this stream. I've helped a bit with writing specifically for Marco, but these three here are the ones that put it together. This is their series, and it is genuinely inspiring to see what they put together.
Obi and M took this project and made it their baby. And they have coddled it and sent it to no such daycare. They're like, we're gonna raise this our own. And it's come to life, and it's crazy.
It's amazing to see how far Gator Boys has come, and what people have gotten out of it is like, to see it's resonated so well with so many people. Like, even I started as a viewer before being brought on board for market. I just enjoyed it from a distance, and it is generally amazing. And to see what it's meant to so many people is just amazing. So congrats all of you.
Congrats as a writer. Sorry, my voice died.
I think that makes this probably a good time to sort of wrap up, unless there's anything any of you want to cover at this point. Do you have outros? Anything you want to say?
Thank you, everyone who stayed from start to finish. This has been a long one.
Yeah, I mean, I half expected it to be kind of long, but not this long. But it was fun. I wouldn't mind doing this again. Probably not with the accent, because I'm gonna be stuck like this for a bit.
I can't believe you have done that for so long. You can quit at any time.
It's I know, but when I walk outside my door, my brother's gonna be like, "Why are you talking like that?"
Awesome. Right, Obi, you're the one with the keys to the stream.
No, yes,
I think I've said everything that's. Yeah, I think that's a lovely place to end.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks you guys so much for joining us.
I really appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Forward to the next
thank you.
episode whenever we have time to put it out.
We love seeing the comments on the videos and seeing what nice and what crazy things you put.
And make sure you check out the rest of the content from Mage and Obi. Their other series are absolutely phenomenal
and
worthy of
M.
time.
And
yes.
Go to
Don't
Capital
leave
M
yourself out.
Audios.
All
Don't
of
click.
us,
Don't
channel
click
has-
the one. Do better.
M's
all of their
channel
channels
started
are
more
linked
recently,
below.
but there's more audios coming, and M has like very high quality stuff for a recent channel.
And comment and like to peer pressure Day into starting her own channel and doing more VA stuff because she's good at it.
I made the channel.
Yeah, but you haven't put anything on it.
You found it? What? Hold on. What?
You'll never know.
Thank you all so much for dropping by. We hope you enjoyed.
Peace
the
and
stream.
love.
Thank you all so much. None of this could have been possible without all of you guys' support. It's absolutely amazing. I'm trying to let go of the accent. Anyways. And who knows? Maybe we'll do another Q&A in the future. Because there's a lot more content that we're planning on making. But yeah.
Heck yeah.
Goodbye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. 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 Bye.